Well, good afternoon and good evening, everybody. It's the Cryptid Huntress. And boy, do we have a great show for y'all tonight. We are going to be looking into two of Texas's finest cryptids tonight. We are going to be looking into the Beast of Bear Creek and the Bear King out of Texas. These have been tasked to me as remote viewing targets. And we're going to get into some data tonight, and we're going to really explore some of these. Now, they may not even be cryptids. They might just be skinwalkers, at least one of them. And so, of course, I have my good buddy, Mr. E.D. Testerman, author E.D. Testerman. My friend Eric is here in the studio with me tonight. And we're going to take a deep dive down these cryptids and some others as well, probably. There's no telling where this conversation will go tonight. But I can promise you it's going to be a good time, and we're probably going to end up learning something new, as we usually always do. And so thank you guys so much for joining us yesterday. We had Dr. John Stamey here in the studio, and we talked about aliens versus presidents. that was a really fun show. If you guys missed that, please go back and check it out. It's in the archives. You guys can find all my archives over either on my YouTube channel here. Some of you guys are watching from YouTube right now, but I also have my website. That's the cryptidhuntress.com. You can find all of my shows there, my social media links, and my calendar of events. I think the next event that I have coming up will be the, let's see, what is that? The UFO conference is coming up in about a week or two. And I think that's up in Demarest, Georgia. Demarest, y'all. I got a lot of events going on. Mount Airy, Georgia, actually. And as Dr. John surprised me with on air yesterday, it's actually going to be at a distillery where you can go buy you a jar of moonshine and drink some moonshine while we talk about UFOs. What could go wrong? I'm just kidding. Nothing will go wrong. We have a really good time at I think it's RM Rose Distillery up in Mount Airy. It's a big old spot, and it's fun. So y'all come see me, and bring your personal fan. Probably it might be a little hot in there, but who knows? It's still going to be a good time no matter what. They do have AC, by the way, and they got drinks. So y'all come see me if you're up in the area. And also on my website, you can find the other events that I'll be at. And I've got a link to my Patreon. I do have both targets are posted in my Patreon right now. So if you'd like to follow along with the raw data for these targets, it is listed in my Patreon. And so shout out to all my Patreon members. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I really do appreciate you guys. And I have a new design that's coming out. Let's see if I can find it. It's way over there. I did design some new stickers and some magnets and stuff, and I'm going to be sending those out to my Patreon members. You'll see it when you get it. Okay. And then I'll be releasing it out, show everybody to the public. It's pretty cool. Okay. For the Cryptid Huntress, if you are a VIP Patreon member, you get that. In addition to seeing all the remote viewing data. And also I do have a shop. It's called War Woman Goods. It's over on Etsy. And also you guys, please put this on your calendar of events too. If you guys want to come see me in the Molina Bigfoot Festival, November the 8th, I'll be there at that too. Okay. Well, let's get into our show today, shall we? Because we're going to be talking about some really cool cryptid/skinwalkers tonight. We're talking about the Beast of Bear Creek and the Bear King of Marble Falls in Texas. Early settlers of Kimble County in Texas believed that an old Native American shaman, one of the last survivors of his tribe, could shapeshift into a large wolf as revenge or punishment towards the white settlers who had slaughtered his tribe and stole his people's land. At night, he would turn himself into a giant wolf or wolf-like creature, and he'd roam the countryside at night, unaliving livestock and unsuspecting settlers as well, anybody who got caught outside after dark. Some speculate that this creature was actually not an S-walker, as we like to call them, but it was a Bigfoot or even a Dogman or some other kind of undiscovered species. And some people think, well, maybe what was unaliving those livestock and the people there could have been a bear or a panther as well. But nonetheless, whatever was going around, unaliving animals and people, it became known as the Beast of Bear Creek. Okay, and we have some historical data from this. We're going to go over that tonight before we get into my data. Then, in 1901, a young girl was abducted and carried away into what she described as the Bear King's lair. She escaped, and a hunting party of men tracked the animal, confronted it, and eventually shot and unalived it, but not before the Bear King, is what it became known as, beat its chest, and it screamed like a panther. Okay, well, I don't know about a whole lot of bears kidnapping women and children, but I do know about some Bigfoots that have been known to do that. And of course, I have my good friend, author E.D. Testerman. He is a podcaster. He has a YouTube channel called The Bizarre and the Unknown. And you can find his books on Amazon. Just look up author E.D. Testerman. And he's also on Nighthawk High Strangeness podcast on the weekends. Please help me welcome to the show my good buddy, Mr. Eric Testerman. What's up, Eric?
Hey, Jessica. Hey, everybody. Oh, the ceiling right now. I know I'm trying to get cooled off. It's hotter than a well digger digging a well in July. I mean, I'm burning up out there.
Man,
I've been roasting my backside off. It's a booger.
Yeah, it's hot. It is super hot. I'm trying to cool off myself. I got a fan going on in the background in addition to the AC that's on right now because it is really hot. It is uncomfortably hot this summer. It's hotter than normal, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hot whenever I can take my hat off, comb my hair, and it gets slicked back from the sweat. It's so daggone hot. I mean, it's a good one. It's a good one. Of course, it's humid as heck here, It's humid.
It is here too. So, well, hey, here's the good part of it. At least we're not covered in hair like a Bigfoot. Okay, at least some of us aren't.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, everybody in the chat. Sorry if I'm missing you guys. No, I mean gosh. it's and that's a funny. I know it's a quick deal off the the crazy train for a second, but a lot of people think that Bigfoot ain't leave an area and go to colder climates when it's hot. I don't think they do because look at bear, look at deer, look at everything else. They're still here. I just think they go inside a cave or something and get cooled off.
Yes, let me tell you, caves are so cool. I mean, when we did that Tennessee S. Walker investigation up in Whitleyville. I think it was called Whitleyville. That cave was spooky. It was not cool enough to where I'd want to go in there by myself and cool off, but it was cool when everybody was down there. I mean, it was a lifesaver being out there. It was at least 20 degrees colder than outside.
Yep. I love caving. Caving's like one of my favorite things besides scuba diving. And I mean, I got a lot of stuff I like to do, but I love exploring caves. There's a lot of mystery inside them caves. A lot of mystery, a lot of danger too.
Well, you go have fun in your caves because I'm going to sit at the front of the cave anytime I go. I will go back a little ways, but I ain't trying to go down there too deep into those caves because it is not. I don't know. I get claustrophobic, okay, and I think and not knowing what's going to charge at me from the other side, from the other end when you get out and in there, it worries me.
I might spent a time or two camping out inside of a cave when I was younger. And I can tell you, there's some interesting noises that comes from caves at night and probably some interesting things that went past me I didn't know about.
Yeah. Well, and here's another thing too, is like, I feel safe having my, like a pew, let's just call it a pew, right? Some kind of weapon, some kind of personal protection on me. And you really can't be shooting those in a cave, right? I mean, it's not, the whole cave could collapse on you if you start shooting.
Oh, yeah, you got that or ricochets. A good pig sticker helps you. You got a good pig sticker, you'd be all right. An Arkansas toothpick or something, just.
Oh, man.
I carry a couple different things with me. I mean, this is one of them that I take with me. Or I've got my K-bar and a couple others. I mean, a good pig sticker is just as good as a handy gun, too.
Oh, man. I tell you what. Well, see, that's the problem, though, is like if something's close enough to me to where I have to stab it, that's too close. Okay. It's just too close, but it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing.
It
is. It's better than nothing, especially with those pale crawlers and stuff.
I always say that I'm a screamer. So, I mean, push comes to shove, I'm going to be a slashing and a screaming. I'll go out screaming.
Oh my gosh. Well, I probably scream too, but anyways, nonetheless, yeah, it's hot. I hope everybody's cool today. Everybody's got their cold drinks, and yeah, I don't know. I am super excited to be talking about some Texas cryptids. I try to kind of move all the topics we have, like kind of do things that are like all over the country and go to different regions with the topics. And these are a couple of targets I did a little while back, and they involve 2 Texas cryptids. Now you're just north of Texas, right? You're not too far. You're closer to Texas than I am.
A couple hours,
I guess. Yeah.
Roughly, I think it's like 6 or 8 hours, something like that. 7 hours, maybe somewhere around in there.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Shoot, I just drove 8 hours from Florida, and it's right here by Georgia where I live. So, coming home from Florida what day was it? Saturday. I drove back. 8 hours over. It was like eight and a half hours, I think. So it's not that bad. Wasn't even a bad drive actually. But nonetheless, we got some weird creatures coming out of Texas. Texas has some of the best cryptids actually. Okay, so do you up in Missouri as well. But I found this little thing right here. It's like a chart of some of the Texas cryptids right here, and this one's actually included. The Beast of Bear Creek is one of them. Some say it's a werewolf. Most people call it a werewolf or a skinwalker. Okay, could be a dogman. But we got the chupacabra, the Bigfoot. Let me take that down. We got the Bear King of Marble Falls. We're going to be talking about the Bear King tonight. That's another one that I did a remote viewing on. And what the donkey lady, I cannot even imagine what the donkey lady looks like, or what the story is behind that. I look forward to looking into that one day. But Hogzilla and the Batman
seems interesting too.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of Spring Hill Jack. I know. I wonder if it's a vampire. Huh. But and La Lechuza. I've covered that one before. That's a good one. So so we're gonna look into 2 of these right here on this chart tonight. And I think the first one, maybe we should just go ahead and talk about this Beast of Bear Creek. Now, have you ever heard of the Beast of Bear Creek before tonight?
I've heard a tale or two about it. If I remember right, what was the guy's name? NQ Patterson, I think, sculpted something on
yes,
the Beast of Bear Creek. Yeah,
sure did. Okay, so let's give a little history of this area real quick, okay? Because this goes way back to when the settlers, people first started settling, like the white folks, basically. Okay, started settling in this area of Texas, and so this goes back. Let's see, what are the years on here? I don't know about the exact year, okay, but it had to have been. I think this was in the 1800s, if I'm not mistaken, actually. So I think people were settling there before that. But this is in Kimble County, Texas. Okay, let me see if this map is the same one that I have for. This is actually Bear Creek. Okay, yeah, this is Bear Creek right here. It's just north of San Antonio. It's in between San Antonio and Houston. Okay, smack dab in the heart of Texas is where this is. Kimble County. It was believed that an old Native American shaman, who was the last survivor, one of the last survivors of his tribe, was changing into a large wolf. Now, Eric, with your knowledge of Native American history, legends, and lore, does that sound like an S-Walker to you? Because that's what it sounds like to me.
No, definitely. I mean, of course, you got North America. There's types of medicine men that can shapeshift into werewolves or whatever else. In Mesoamerica, they have stories of the shamans in Mesoamerica doing the same thing. And if you actually study a lot of cultures from around the world, a lot of these holy people were able to do this. So the aspect of this being an S-Walker is possibly. I mean, that ain't what they were called in that area, of course. I mean, they were called something else in that area, but the concept's about the same. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, what do you think the odds are that that some settlers came in, they built their little town out there, and I mean they're saying in the research that I did, they're saying that actually when the settlers came in, like they decimated the Native Americans that lived out there, like they unalived them. and stuff. So that's first of all, we always talk about curses and the land is cursed and there's the land requires blood and all that kind of stuff, or like places that have high concentrations of cryptids oftentimes are places where people have died and there's been some kind of trauma to the land, right?
Yeah, especially when it comes to the dark magic types. That's definitely.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. I can't remember if Gary Spice Sr.'s in here. Hey, what's up, Gary? I can't remember, Gary. Do you live in Texas? I think you live in Texas, or maybe you live in Oklahoma. I can't remember. But you're out that way too. Okay. And thank you for being here. It's good to see him. Yeah.
Looks like it's an old army.
Oh yeah. We've got so many great people in this chat tonight. Thank you all so much for being here. Sovereign Cosmic Wildman says the Texas Dogmen are extremely vicious. Man, you know what? We're going to get into that a little bit because I have covered. I had my buddy, I think when Nick Sylvester came on a long time ago, we talked about, maybe it was you, maybe you too. We talked about the Southern Border Patrol encountering Dogmen. Have we talked about that before?
Yeah. That was that came out when the border was open and a lot of stuff was going on. There was reports coming across from the people crossing over of dogmen hopping the Rio and the Red and going after these people crossing the border and unaliving them. I'm trying to be nice and not get you on Yoo-hoo probation like I was for about a month.
We got to say unalive. We got to use our own vocabulary. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, there was multiple reports of that happening, and I was talking to Corey. Corey lives off the Red, and Corey Cole. I don't know if he's in the chat today or not. I have to look, but Corey Cole lives off the Red, and I mean, there's reports of that stuff going on. I mean, there's been reports for years, but for some reason, there was like a huge influx of dogmen crossing over the Red and the Rio to let's say feast on some long pork.
Long pork. Oh Lord, y'all know what that means. We're not going to explain it tonight, but it's it tastes like it's the other white meat, right, Eric? The other white meat.
The other white meat.
The other white meat, and it's kind of gross, but humans, y'all, it's humans, just like Soylent Green. So nonetheless, it's a little scary, but it was almost like a free for all. Okay. Yeah. So the story goes, the legend says that whatever was in this town, I think it was called Cleo, if I'm not mistaken, right? And whatever this was, there was something that was definitely, unaliving the livestock and definitely attacking humans at this time. Definitely doing that. But see, they never put their finger on exactly what it was. They all were speculating what it was, and they were seeing a big wolf man, and they assumed it was that man, the shaman. Okay. And so that's where this originates. And I do have some pictures, actually. I found these online. This is the actual, now this is Bear Creek right here. I believe this is a picture of Bear Creek that I found online. Let's see. I showed you the map, and man, you know what? Just like with all the other stuff I do, I never get my pictures uploaded. So anyways, there's pictures. It's on my Patreon. That's, what I've realized what I do, Eric, is like I think that I upload everything for my show, but I end up putting it in my Patreon, and then I forget to upload it here. So that's what happened.
For me, it's easier just to,
yeah.
For me, it's easier just to look it up in the file and share, screen share it. That way, I'm like, okay, it's right there. I know I ain't.
Yes.
All right there.
That's what I'm going to start doing for sure. Okay. Well, my Patreon members can see it. Okay. It's just some old houses, like almost rickety looking, like a schoolhouse, and a rickety looking old store. Okay. Use your imagination, y'all. Okay. That's all it is. It's like a little ghost town today because there's not a whole lot going on there today. But back then, when all this happened, when people were dying and the livestock were dying, it was a pretty big deal. And there was actually a gentleman there who was known for carving. His name was N.Q. Patterson. And I'm only bringing him up because, they said that he was not only the county treasurer, he was the county judge, and he carved the tombstones. So he was a man of multi talents, and he carved tombstones. And here's something that he did: he actually carved. They must have marble there, good bit of marble. And And so he was into carving marble apparently, and he carved something that was very odd. And people are speculating that whatever this tombstone was, and I couldn't find a picture of it anywhere, but this is what they talk about in this legend, is that he carved like a half man, half beast, like a dogman or a werewolf. And let me explain it. It says, so he carved a strange and fierce creature. It seemed to be part human, part animal. The nose was broad and protruded more than that of a person. The lips of the creature were curled back in a vicious snarl that revealed terrible fangs, which it could no doubt do terrible harm. The carving was quite large, and it became very well known in the region. Okay. And said many came to the conclusion that it was a representation of the old shaman in his wolf guise, his wolf outfit, the beast of Bear Creek. And some speculated this man who had carved this had actually seen the beast himself, so he knew what it looked like to make that carving, okay, of this wolf man. Look like a wolf man. Of course, for the artwork today of the show, I just, I put up like a werewolf or a dogman. Okay. But it's actually more like what we would consider to be, I'm going to say it once, I'm not going to say anymore, a skinwalker. Okay. A shapeshifter. Okay. Is more like what this thing was described as actually. Okay. So I don't know. I'm not shocked. Okay. Hearing this backstory about it, but nonetheless, it's one of the most famous cryptids, even though Skinwalker is not a cryptid, but it's a famous cryptid from that area. And out of Texas. It's one of the top 9.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, so, shapeshifters is, like I said earlier, throughout, Native American culture, Mesoamerican culture and all that. It's well within that area. They get certain names from certain tribes, people latch onto it, and boom, Bob's your uncle. There you go. I mean, common reference, Rougarou, in Louisiana, that comes from France, right? Well, in Louisiana, they call it still the Rougarou. So that I can see that being the case with the SW, and it's all the same concept. It's just they may be called something else by their native tongue, which Texas would have tales to Mesoamerican culture because of who was in that area. Probably more so nowadays would be medicine men, but it's the same concept, just different areas. Each of them's got the ability to do it. I mean, there's so many different types of cultures throughout history that could do it. So, yeah, I keep seeing everybody talking about Hulk Hogan. Yeah, that was sad. I met him back in the 80s in St. Joe, Missouri at the Shrine Mosque.
Oh, man. Yes, we have lost a lot of famous people the past couple of days, it seems like. What's his name? Theo Huxtable? Yeah. Okay. Even though that was his stage name. Okay. But Malcolm and
Ozzy.
Let's see who else. Ozzy and now the Hulk. Yeah, it happens in threes though, doesn't it?
Yeah, the Hulkster.
That's another rabbit hole you go down. Okay. But yeah, it's really sad.
Yeah, that ain't no joke.
Yeah.
I met him, Andre the Giant, Junkyard Dog, out back behind the shrine after they got done doing the match. They were out there. Of course, back in the 80s in St. Joe, they used to do monster trucks and WWF at the same time. So they were back there with the monster trucks, just having a good time, relaxing. And so we pulled up there and they said hi, and I got to shake their hands and get picked up by them whenever I was, knee-high to a grasshopper's butt. I was probably about 3 or 4 years old.
That's awesome that you got to actually meet him. Man, that's really cool. That's really cool. I used to hang out with Big Boss Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
man. Well,
there's a Cryptid too there, by God. Dude, that guy was massive. But no, I mean when it comes to these shapeshifters, I mean they're all shapeshifters. I mean, what's if it looks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it's got to be a duck. Even if it walks like a duck too, it's going to be a duck. I mean, this stuff all deals with shape shifting, regardless of what you look at it. When you change from one form to another, that's shape shifting. Generally, that has dark magic tied to it when you're shape shifting like that. Because look at all your werewolf stuff. Your SWs is dark magic. Uh, your European werewolves, you're cursed. Look at the voodoo and hoodoo, and they transform them into the Rougarou, dark magic. They're all either cursed by somebody, or has accepted a curse, or received a curse in one way or another. That's how the curse is spread, and it ain't contained to one person. It can be spread. So if this guy had his whole tribe, unalive by these settlers, he could have dived into that dark magic where he wasn't before, and then took on the shape of the wolf to exact revenge.
Oh yeah.
Very
I mean, there's no telling what I'd do if all my friends and family got unalived by some foreign invaders. Okay, I'm just saying.
yeah,
Hell has no fury. It knows no fury, like a woman scorned.
like
Okay,
a woman scorned.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So there's no
Yeah.
telling. I would put curses on the world. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't. I don't know. But I could understand somebody being mad and upset. Okay.
Yeah.
I did get these pictures up, y'all. This is what I was talking about. It's not so rickety, but y'all know. Okay. This is the Bear Creek, the Bear Creek School, and that's one of them. And you can imagine. I mean, this was a center focal point of town right here, y'all. Okay. So it just is showing us that I think this is their little general store right there. And so it is a tiny little town out in the middle of the country. Okay. Out in the middle of the country. Now they say that today there are strange howls often heard out there. And so still weird stuff goes on out there. It's a weird vibe, but not a lot of people. It's not like a thriving town or anything like that. But they just have their community center still there. They probably still use that building. I don't know. So, but maybe not. Who knows? We still have towns we have places like that in Georgia. Okay. Actually, where Mahaley Lancaster's grave is down in Heard County at the Troop Herd Corridor, I talk about all the time. You drive through, God, what is the name of that town right there? There's like a little, it looks just like that. Okay. And out in Heard and Troop counties. We've got a lot of places like that out here. But that's the Bear Creek community. Yeah. It's a ghost town today. Okay, but nonetheless, I was given some remote viewing coordinates to look into whatever this beast of Bear Creek is, and I think it's fun. Let's look into it. Okay. And so hey, let's go ahead and we'll look into this one, and then we'll go into the Bear King. The Bear King is actually a little more exciting in my opinion. Okay. But this one's interesting too. Okay. This is going to be an interesting one too. Now, this is what people would consider to be a skinwalker or a werewolf. Okay. That's what people believe. Let's get into some of the data. Okay. And let's see. This may leave us more questions than answers, Eric. Okay. But nonetheless, let's get into it. Okay. So I guess we can talk about like my sensory data first, and then we'll get into the analytic overlay and see if we can piece this together as to what this beast of Bear Creek is. Now, I don't know if anybody in the chat is from Texas. If any of you guys are actually from this area, please let it be known if you are, and you probably have, but I just haven't seen the chat. Okay. So, but I am trying to monitor the chat a little bit today. And I think Corey is in the chat right now, by the way, Eric. You'd asked if he was in here. And I see his name. Okay.
Heck yeah. I know I've missed a few. I've tried to glimpse at it, but I'm always trying to do other things too. So it's like I know I'm missing stuff.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Wind.
Okay. And if you guys are interested in seeing all this raw remote viewing data, it is in my Patreon. So you guys go ahead and you can join my Patreon. And if you become a VIP member, you do get a gift. Okay. Okay. So whatever I was remote viewing, this is a blind target. I was given a set of 8 numbers. Those are my coordinates. Okay. And this is what I wrote down. Old, ancient, bad, evil, dark, strong, smart, hard, mad, frozen, and triumphant. That's what I wrote down. Okay, so for my analytic overlay, what I got from that sensory data, I wrote down the land before time. Okay, I guess like that. Could be the cartoon. I don't know. Could just be the land before time. Devil is in my data. Ancient entity and poltergeist are both in my data. Okay. Now, my question to you, Eric, before I go on, when someone becomes an S walker, when they are becoming a shapeshifter, let's call them a shapeshifter, do they have to call on ancient entities to possess them, right?
Yeah. That very, very dark magic. And there is some very unkindly things you have to do in order to partake in this type of dark magic. I mean, it's not good. It's, when you say devil and poltergeist and stuff like that, and the devil, I'm going, yeah, I can see that, because that's all tied into the dark magic side of what it takes to be in it. A one of those type of shapeshifters. My family, I've got kin from Texas. When three brothers came over to the United States, one stayed in the Virginias, one went to Texas, one went to Dakotas. In fact, that John Wayne movie, The Searchers, was based off of my cousin, but she didn't live. She actually died 2 weeks after being rescued because she didn't want to. Her husband was the last Comanche chief to ever surrender.
Oh,
so
wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Deep history out there, man.
Yeah, I got kin down there. I got kin on the res in the Dakotas. I got kin in the Virginias. I got kin all over. But it's, so that type of stuff is, my family knows it, and for those of you who's been following me for a little while, on the Smith side of my family, they practice dark magic. And I've literally seen what I've never participated, because what I seen happen to them, the things that happen, even, hearing stories of what my mom's dad, my grandpa, my mom's dad did, making a deal with the devil one night. What happened to him, I can tell you now, it ain't nothing I want to get into. It takes you. I mean, you have to pay a price. There is a toll you have to pay, and that toll ain't very friendly. I mean, it is. You think they're your friends and they're aiding you. They're not. They're lending you something, and they take more in return. It's not good.
Oof. Okay. Well, duly noted. That's noted. Okay. Yeah, I would not want to participate in that either. And after I get through this data, we'll talk about it a little bit more, because somebody told me something yesterday about witchcraft and voodoo that I had never heard before. And then I heard it. My phone, obviously our phones are listening to us all the time, I guess. And it put me in some kind of algorithm, because it overheard my conversation with him, because something came up about the same conversation that I had with him yesterday about voodoo and witchcraft. And so remind me, and we'll talk about it when I get done with the data. Okay. So, and it deals with black magic and stuff. Okay. So I said ancient entity and poltergeist. Okay. The next thing I wrote down was knowledge. And then I wrote down Navajo witchcraft. That's what I wrote down. There's a lot of Native American data in this, by the way, a lot of Native American data. Because the next thing I wrote was, not the next thing, but some of the stuff I wrote down was like Apache and Apache tears. Apache tears are actually, I have a stone and it's called an Apache tear. Okay. And so I don't know if it's like a black stone and it's shaped like a tear. Somebody gave that to me a few years ago. So I do have an Apache tear, but it's in my data. And I was picking up on bullets as well, bullets, and I wrote bullet points. And actually the drawing that I did for my stage 3 drawing was actually a bullet. It like had blood, or I wrote Apache tears and it was like dripping. And I was seeing those Apache tears. And so it was like, looks like blood dripping off the tip of the bullet. Kind of, I know. It's kind of, I'll show you. Why not?
Yeah.
This is what I drew.
Well, I mean, that kind
like a bullet with
that kind of
blood.
fits the lure. Yeah.
Okay, so all right, so I wrote down Navajo, I wrote down Apache and Apache tears, and then I wrote down Hopi. Okay, so it's like a lot. It's almost like, I don't know. This data was all over the place, because it was just like a whole bunch of Native American different tribes and stuff. I kept writing down. Really. So, but I did write down curse land, bloodshed, death and dead. I mean, it's not pretty data. Okay, it's not pretty. But cursed land, something that was dead. Now I wrote down beginning and revelry was in my data as well. But that's interesting because the first 3 stages I am picking up on definitely Native American data. Definitely, I wrote down poltergeist, ancient entity, and witchcraft, bloodshed, cursed lands. It kind of lines up with this, maybe whatever this target is being a potential S-walker.
Yeah.
Okay. It is. That's just the first page. Okay. So let me go to the next page, stage 4. I've got more. Okay. And so I kept seeing a big X when I was remote viewing this. I remember seeing a big X because I drew it. And I wrote down exchange and crossroads. Crossroads. And X marks the spot. I was definitely what I was seeing. I wrote down Labubu too. Okay. I wrote down Labubu. Okay. I wrote down demon actually. Wrote down demon. Okay, so wrote down demon. Countryside.
I think is a demon.
Yeah, it's a demon, right? Okay, so countryside, woods, country, rural area, pastures, and crops. Okay, and air sucked out of the room is what I heard. I heard like air sucked out of the room, and I was definitely felt like I was like out in the country. In like a movie, like almost like a movie, like "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" or something. Okay, like some movie where there's almost like somebody walks up to the crossroads. I think that's in that movie where that guy who's a blues singer goes to the crossroads. I was seeing that, like that's what I was seeing in this. So, but I wrote down "cursed forever," "cursed forever" in eternity was in the data. But I was not having a good feeling when I was doing this. I had literally wrote it down like not good feeling. Like I don't like this. I was feeling dizzy and tired when I was remote viewing this, and it was draining the life out of me. So I ended that session. But it was something that would last forever. I wrote the data said something that was going to last forever. So I don't know if that pertains to like the curse, an ancient entity that's there forever. But I think so. Like looking at this data, I'm thinking like. I think there was something cursed that will always be there. Maybe this guy that was the S-walker potentially, or somebody that was there did curse that land, and they did conjure S-walkers to be there, and werewolves and dogmen and all that stuff. I think this is legit because there's so much data in this. I think this is legit. What do you think?
Yeah. So definitely. And I want to break these down because I got to make sure I hit every part, because every part of what you read on that fits 100% with that stuff. So the first part, when you said it was weird, I'm all over the place because you hit 3 different native tribes. People don't realize the what they call a war shield wasn't a war shield. It's basically like an ID tag. Okay. So they have their story, their bloodline story on these shields. So when I come up to you, and I may not be able to speak your language, you may not be able to speak mine. I can put that out, and you go, "Hey, I am Flying Hawk from the Lakota tribe, and my mother is, Soaring Star from the Navajo," and stuff like this, and tells you the bloodline. So the fact that you get those 3 different bloodlines in there is well in the realm of possibility of being true, because that happened a lot. They married outside their own tribe, either A, from rage and taking women, or B, when they go to the big powwows, they would meet and then all of a sudden marry, and they can marry outside of their tribe. There's hundreds of different reasons of why they would marry outside of their tribe and have different bloodlines within them. That was not uncommon at all back then. So the key word is, you said Navajo.
Yes.
And the Navajo, which is part of the Dinesh, they are well known for SW. So that's actually where the term SW comes from, is the Navajo. So the possibility of that happening is well credited to that. Just for that simple fact there, he has the bloodline. So if it is him and he's got all that in his bloodline, definitely, very good possibility of it. And then you were talking, let's see, you're talking ancient, you're talking about Labobo.
Well, just a demon. I wrote down demon. I wrote down devil, and I wrote down demon. Okay, devil and demon is both, but it's in separate places in the data. But it's the devil was on the stage 2, and then the demon is in stage 4. That's evil.
Okay, so Yeah, that makes perfect sense because you're dealing with dark magic, and so what us Westerners would call angels and demons, Native people would call dark spirits or skywalker, sky beings. Okay, you got the heaven, you got the hell. We all got the same beliefs. It's all the same. We call it differently. So when we're talking devil and demon within that lure, thank you so much, sweetheart. You're talking about that in your remote viewing.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on one second. Sorry. No, leave it there. I'll finish one. Thank you. Sorry, my daughter came in and handed me something and asked me a question. Uh,
Nice.
you're dealing with dark magic. Dark magic in Western terms would be known as the devil or demon, which that all fits within that perfectly fine. Um, it's a perfectly put together jigsaw puzzle. Honestly, to me, it leads to the validity of this being an actual SW. It really does. Then you were
Yeah.
talking about what was it? Fields, crops, and what was the other parts? Crops and
Countryside woods, country rural areas, pastures, crops, things like that. That's when I was like, I had honed in on like some kind of crossroads or like an X and like two roads intersecting is what I was seeing, and I drew a big X with like a circle in the middle of it, and I was seeing like that scene. It was almost like a scene, and I think it was "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" in that where that guy was like, I guess he sold his soul to be a blues singer or something, and I was seeing that kind of thing. So it would be similar, I guess.
I mean, throughout Western culture, you hear about going to the crossroads to make a deal with the devil. In fact, one of your oldest werewolf encounters in European culture deals with, I think it's actually from England, if memory serves me correctly. He went to the crossroads at midnight to make a deal with Lucifer to embody the wolf. And that's like one of the oldest werewolf stories from England area. I'm pretty sure it was England.
Yeah, you got to make an exchange with the devil, I guess, to do stuff like that. And
dark magic.
Well, I'm just gonna say, I think that this data highly suggests that whatever this is that was on that land, whatever was getting those livestock, there was something that was cursed. Someone cursed the land. It is a forever curse. Okay. Now I'm sure, listen, life is all about programming things and you can change things. Okay. You can change the energy of stuff, but I think some kind of like ancient entity is there on that land, whether it was conjured there, it was already there, or it says cursed forever eternity. That was the last thing I wrote down. As far as my analytic overlay goes, cursed forever eternity. That sounds rough. Sounds rough.
Well, so you got to consider this: between all the wars that was fought against the native people there, then the wars fought against the natives and Hispanics, then the wars fought between the natives and the Mexicans, then the wars fought between the natives and whites. There was a lot of death on that land, a lot of death, years and years and years and years of death and anger and violence and hatred. Yeah, I mean that's right. It's perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, hey, Colleen. She says healing the land would require a lot of work from native and non-natives as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it can be done.
Yeah.
See, that's my point. It can be done. It doesn't matter how bad and cursed that place is. It can be healed. It can.
Oh! I just you done a remote view on that werewolf investigation I'm on, and I just realized that part of what you read on that was in that remote view of that werewolf location that I've been working on.
No way. What that we just talked about just now?
Yeah, the death, a lot of death, cursed land, old demonic entity. All that was in that remote view you did for me, pre to me going down and doing that initial werewolf investigation that I've been working on.
No way. Oh my gosh. Well, we're seeing a pattern, right? And that's why I really love doing all these hitting all these targets that are like werewolves and local legends and stuff, because we're seeing patterns as to like why they're there, what was there before, what happened on that land, and it's all very similar to all these cases. That's why I love doing this. It's almost like how, David Paulides does all those chapters of like different people that go missing and how they went missing in these national parks. It's almost, I'm not saying it's monotonous, but you start seeing patterns and it's like, man, it's like the same story over and over again, with just different people. And that's kind of how it is with these werewolves too. And some of these cryptids that we have historically had all over the United States. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And all over the world, really. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Cool stuff though. Okay, cool beans. So Texas, y'all have a S Walker out there. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's other stuff out there too. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Where there's one, there's more. I would think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
saying.
You got Thunderbirds, the list goes on and on of different stuff that's out there. I've done a show on Thunderbirds, and those are very well seen, or seen quite often within Texas as well, still to this day. You got tons of stuff in Texas.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, what is that? Like the Fort Worth monster too? Like, isn't that like Goatman or something that's out there in Fort Worth? That's a cool one. Lake Worth monster, maybe? I don't know. I can't remember. There's just a whole bunch of stuff. Wait, what did I just see? So I just saw a comment that said that, here it is from Abbott. Abbott said, George Bush Jr. stole Geronimo's skull for Skull and Bones at Yale. Somebody did. I don't know if it was George Bush Jr., but it was somebody, right, Eric? You know about that.
I mean, Geronimo, he had powerful medicine, very, very powerful medicine. The sky people came and talked to him, the good spirits, and said that no weapon made by man will unalive you. And he was a very, very powerful medicine man and war chief. I mean, the guy was good. I mean, of course, he'd been fighting Mexicans and stuff long before he started fighting whites, but yeah.
Well, okay, that's pretty tragic. It's really kind of sad. Okay. Desecrating, I mean, that's kind of desecration of a body right there, right? I mean,
oh yeah.
That would indicate that somebody went and dug his body up. I mean, is that grave robbing?
Yep.
That's wrong. That's just wrong.
It's unsafe. It is 100%. I mean, absolutely. That kind of stuff just aggravates the holy living tar out of me. I can't respect for your elders and respect for the nations and respect for in life period.
That's right. Hey, Win Clan Ken, what's up? Thank you for being here tonight. Ken says the great Apache war chief Geronimo was also a powerful medicine man. He was imprisoned for a while at Mount Vernon, Alabama. The place became an insane asylum until still operating today. Tons of unmarked graves. I didn't know that.
I didn't know about Mount Vernon, Alabama. I knew they were imprisoned in Florida, and just about 10 or 15 years ago, they finally released the last of them from that time frame of prisoners from there. From the Army had to, because it was the Army that imprisoned them. So the Army had to let go the last of the descendants from that time frame. And that was back about 10 or 15 years ago. But I knew that was from Florida. I didn't know about Mount Vernon, Alabama.
Very well. That's good information, Ken. Thank you so much. Mm-hmm. And Ken's got his own YouTube channel. I'm subscribed to your YouTube channel, Ken, and I want to bring you on the show soon. Okay, and so Ken hangs out with our crew that was out in Holland's Hunt Camp. I went out there. There's a few people in the chat tonight. Friends with Mark Green that came on the show Saturday night. So thank you guys, everybody, for being here tonight. A lot of rich history on Alabama. And lots of Dogmen and Bigfoots and ETs and all that out there as well, out in that area. Okay, so Corey made this statement, and this just reminded me of what I was going to tell y'all after I got done with the data about the witchcraft and the voodoo, what I learned yesterday. And then it popped up on my phone on my feed. So I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and he was like, well, witchcraft has a scent. He said, dark magic, black magic has a smell to it. And I was like, what? Yeah. I never heard that before. I didn't know. But he was telling me, he's like, yeah, it has a smell and you can smell it. And that my friend was like, well, I used to have a roommate who I didn't know that he was a practicing Satanist, and he did like dark magic, and he didn't know that. He found out through this smell that was emanating from his room, apparently. And he said it just smelled god awful. That's the way he described it.
Mhm.
And it turned out, he said that it was just a smell that he knew that smell. He'd smelled it before somewhere. And he said, well, it was the smell of witchcraft is what he told me. And that was so weird because I didn't know there was a smell. Maybe it's like dead animals. Maybe it's just the potions. I don't know. What is that about? Because it came up in my feed today on my social media.
How do I explain that? It's kind of like a sulfur, rotten flesh, grave dirt. I mean, I don't know how it's weird. You don't forget it. It's hard to explain. It's got so many aromas mixed in together as one. It's sickening. It's a sickening smell. I don't know about anybody else, but for me, it makes me nauseous when I smell it. It's nasty, but it's got sulfur and it's just, oh my god, yeah, it's bad.
That's horrible. Okay, well, but it's good to know. Like we need to know these things. Okay, if you ever smell something a little weird, I know we got Sovereign Cosmic Wildman in here. I know we know what you smell like, Sovereign. I'm just kidding. That was a joke.
Yeah, sulfur. You've been eating them eggs.
Sulfur. Okay, I'm kidding, Sovereign. But Corey said, if you ever see a werewolf with rotting flesh, that's someone stuck in that form. Okay, and when I saw the rotting flesh, that's when I remembered that scent, the smell thing. Okay, but yeah, that's interesting too. If you ever see a werewolf with rotting flesh, that's someone stuck in that form. Gosh, well, okay. So when you become an S Walker, Eric, can you shapeshift back? You shapeshift back into human form too, right? Is it like back and forth?
Generally, yeah, you can. I mean, I've heard of stories where they were permanently stuck that way. I mean, one of the oldest native stories about it's in the northwestern part of the United States, where the two brothers went out hunting and was gifted the power of the wolf by the old man they gave food to. One brother used it for good and could switch back and forth. The other used it for evil and was permanently in that shape.
Oh man.
So I mean, I can see that being a possibility just from that story alone. I mean, and that's the Barney style version of that story. It actually is a lot longer, more in depth. I just gave you the Barney version.
The Barney version. This is the second time I've heard Barney today too. That's weird. I saw Barney Fife today on social. That's weird. Okay, it's synchronicity. Colleen says bad smell probably related to death and bad medicine and bad spirits.
Yeah, probably. Definitely, yeah.
Well, that's something else that I've heard too. You know, and I'm always referring to that Bill Schnoebelen Prophecy Club talk that he gave that time, and talking about the werewolves, the vampires, and he said that a lot of the rituals that would take place. He's with the Brotherhood of Satan, Church of Satan, or something like that, and he said that they would go out to like landfills and dump sites to like go do their rituals. And it would smell bad. It's like the grossest place you can find. That's the best place to go do that kind of stuff. I don't know. I'm too neat and clean sometimes. I can't be going out there getting stinky like that.
So dark magic not only has a smell to it, but it has a very heavy negative feel to it. I mean, it almost takes, it's like a heaviness on your chest where it makes it hard to breathe. Very dizzying. It's the power on that negative energy you feel from that is another way to tell too. I mean, it is overpowering. It's heavy. It's really, really heavy. Yeah, worse than sulfur. Yeah, Bigfoot.
Oh yeah. What's up, Bigfoot dwarf? You're back. I hadn't seen you. I think were you out of town or something? Okay. Oh yeah, the smell. Yeah, everybody's talking about these smells. We're talking about Sovereign's fart still, actually. Okay, Don Donaldson. Hey Don, he says, was Geronimo's skull taken from a museum? I don't know. Maybe it was. Remember. I don't know. I don't know the history behind it.
I didn't think it was in a museum. I thought he was actually buried. I can't remember where he was buried at, but I think he was actually buried. I don't think his skull was in a museum. I know some of his artifacts was in a museum, but skull, I'm not real sure. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah. We've talked about some of the body parts that have been kept for ritualistic purposes and stuff. And my friend Bryce actually did a full show on, I hate to say this, but on what is that? Rasputin's private part is in a jar. Okay. And she did a full show on that. Okay. Because it's used for rituals and stuff. And There was even like this clip of like, I guess it was like Kim Kardashian's birthday, and some historian, art collector, some kind of collector had gotten a piece of Marilyn Monroe's hair, and he gifted that to her. Somebody gave it to her as a birthday gift. And she was like, oh, I'm going to do all these witchy things tonight with it. And she was being serious. Okay. But yeah, it's like the essence of that person, I guess. She was going to go embody Marilyn Monroe, shapeshift into Marilyn, I guess. I don't know. Glamour magic. It's above my pay grade. I don't know how that works. Okay. Colleen said that grave diggers took Geronimo's head.
That makes sense. I seen where Corey said he was buried at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. I was trying to remember. I just wasn't 100% sure. Thanks for that, Corey.
Oh yeah, everything is pickled. That's right.
Yeah,
it was pickled. That's right. Oh, and that's really sad too. We got to be careful with these like funeral homes and all that kind of stuff. Taking body parts. Man, I hate even thinking about all that. Okay, I hate thinking about this kind of stuff, y'all. It's really bad. But it's just a part of the darker side of life, y'all. It's the darker side of life. And so that's what we're talking about. All right. Well, let's move on to something a little more exciting than talking about stinky sulfuric witchcraft. Okay. Because I know farts. Yes, I said it. I don't even hardly say that word. I hate that word. But I don't hate that word. I just try not to say it. Not on air. Yeah. So, but I do have an 11-year-old too, so we do say it. I'm not going out like I'm holier than thou, y'all. Okay. But anyways, so let's talk about the Bear King. Now, this is something really interesting. Have you heard about the Bear King before, Eric?
I've heard it once. I've heard of the Bear King, and I've heard of the Coyote King, which the Coyote King is the new one that I heard about. But a long time ago, I've heard stories about a Bear King. If memory serves me correctly, basically it's a Bigfoot. If you look down the dirty side of it, it's a Bigfoot, but it's been a while. But yeah, I've heard of it.
Oh yeah, there's several different stories of the Bear Kings. Okay, Bear Kings. This one is this is particularly there's one in particular. Was my remote viewing target. Is one called the Bear King of Marble Falls, Texas. Okay, so this is. And I do believe that there have been Bear Kings. There's like one bear. Hold on, what was it called? It was this gigantic bear that was actually seen all over from Texas to Alabama to Georgia to Florida, Tennessee. And it was like this gigantic, I don't want to say it was like a grizzly bear, but some kind of big bear. And it was almost like a bear man. Okay. With its, it had scars all over it, and its hair was missing in certain spots and stuff like that, but it was just gigantic. And we'll talk about that in just a second. But I guess let's get into the Bear King. Okay, so about 2 hours east of the town of Marble Falls, this is in Texas, there is the tale of the Bear King. In the early 1900s, in what is now Marble Falls, Texas, there's a newspaper article that told the story of the Bear King. Now, this really did happen. There was a woman who was kidnapped, and she was kidnapped near her home by a large beast who howled with the mix of a bear roar and a human voice. The girl returned home stumbling in the night, telling her family that the Bear King had taken her to his lair in the mountains. A group of men traveled to the lair, to this cave where the bear man was, or the Bear King, and they reluctantly shot it. They said that right before they shot it, it started beating its chest like a gorilla, and it yelled like a panther. Okay, like its yell was like a panther, and there's not a whole lot more to that particular story other than this was something that was known to have kidnapped this woman. It says woman here, but in other reports I read, it was a child. They called it the child kidnapping Bear King, is what they called it. Now, to me, that doesn't sound like a bear so much as it sounds like a Bigfoot or a wild man.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely sounds more like. Now, of course, for the artwork for the show, I had to put out some pictures of the Bigfoot wearing a crown on its head. Okay, this thing did not deserve to be crowned if it was kidnapping humans. Okay. That was some AI that I made today. Yes, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But what do you think about that? Because Bigfoots, of all things, like bears, not so much, but Bigfoots have been known historically to kidnap women and children.
Yep. Yeah, it was very, very common for years and years and years for Bigfoot to steal women and men. People leave out the men too. Men were stolen for breeding as well. But predominantly the women are the one that's because that breaks more hearts. Oh, the woman got stolen to be bred by Bigfoot. Men did too. Men were stolen for breeding too. So, yeah, that's very common throughout native lure. In fact, I think I sent you a news article from Canada about that happening when Queen Elizabeth was visiting there at one time.
Oh yeah. Well, Albert Ostman got kidnapped. Okay, and that was in British Columbia, up in Canada. Gold prospector, and he was thrown over in a Bigfoot burrito in his sleeping bag, and taken to a cave. And he claimed, and which was, it was kind of, I even giggled about this because I was like, "There's no way," but he claimed that the Bigfoots in this cave were trying to get him to procreate with the young lady Bigfoot that was in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the one I even sent you. I sent you that newspaper clipping. I remember that. Yeah, but that was him. Yeah, I mean that stuff is. I mean it's been going on. See, the native people will tell you that Bigfoot, who's also known as the Elder Big Brother, the first beings, they were here before humans were here. Okay, they used to war, trade, and go to powwows with the native people. For a long time, they did until there was an accident, and one of a young brave was accidentally killed by a younger Bigfoot, and Bigfoot felt bad, so they stopped coming to rendezvous, and they stopped coming to powwow because they felt bad. Even though the native people said, "Look, it's not your fault; it was an accident," but Bigfoot felt so bad that they left and never returned and stayed to the woods. But I mean, there's plenty of stories throughout native culture of them, doing things together and even warring together. It's very common for them still people for breeding or food.
Yeah. Well, I guess for the longest time I'd always heard that it was like women and children mostly were getting kidnapped, but men did too, y'all. And the whole Albert Ostman thing just highlights that. And that's what he claimed. And so I can't. It's nothing to laugh about, man. You don't want to. Man, I couldn't imagine being in that position ever.
Oh God, yeah.
Having to. Oh man. Anyways, I don't think about it. Okay, but yeah, especially an older gentleman. I don't think he was that old when this happened, but I don't know the pictures of him that are in the newspaper articles and stuff. He's an older man, but whenever that happened, yeah, it's I don't know. It's a danger. Apparently it's a danger of being a gold prospector back in the 1920s. Okay.
Yeah, and look at it this way too. I mean, some native cultures called Bigfoot the bear man. He was like a bear. So hearing about this bear king makes sense because he was known by some cultures as the bear man. Yeah.
The bear man. You know what? Mark Green actually mentioned the bear man last Saturday night. He mentioned something about it. And this is just a picture of what looks like a walking humanoid bear right there. Kind of looks like it's just a regular bear walking, but for forever, I've heard stories about bear men. And also we can't discount the whole bear. What was that? The zombie bear thing that when I was remote viewing, it was whatever was attacked those people up in East Tennessee. And I wrote down in my data on both of them, it was like zombie bear or something. And so it would kind of make sense that maybe there is a bear man out there, but it could just be Bigfoot.
It could be. I mean, there was a child that went missing in the woods. I can't remember. I was wanting to say Tennessee, but I could be wrong. I can't remember where
Dennis
he went
Martin.
missing at.
It was Dennis Martin, probably.
Well, probably he was. He was said he survived those 3 or 4 days. It's been a while since I read it. He survived.
Not Dennis.
Okay, he survived a couple days, and when he was found, he says, "Yeah, the bear took care of me. It brought me food. Yes. It brought me this, and it kept me warm." I'm like, right there, he described. If you actually listen to the description, it's a Bigfoot, but he called it a bear.
Yes. Actually, you know what? I was going to bring that up tonight because I think that is fascinating. I did an entire show a couple of years ago with John Vandeventer, who came on, and we talked about all the different accounts of children who had gotten lost in the woods. Because it's not just that one. I know exactly what you're talking about. That was in North Carolina. There was multiple children that have been lost in our national parks. A lot of it's in national parks. Sometimes it's just in the woods. But there's probably no way they would have survived had they not been found. What they said was by a bear and taken care of by a bear. And sometimes it was days on end. They were cared for, fed, and protected by bears. They said. Yep. Now, Eric, I don't know about you, but I think a bear would probably eat a kid if it had a chance, if it was hungry.
Generally, yeah. But I mean, there's several stories throughout history of animals taking in, lost children. I mean, Romulus and Remus is a prime example, raised by a she-wolf, Look how many times you hear stories of that. So animals taking it. I know this is a fantasy, but Tarzan's another example. That was made off of a story they heard about a kid that was raised by gorillas. That's where Tarzan comes from. So you hear stories throughout the world of kids that become lost and be taken in by these wild animals as raised as one of them. Mowgli's another one. And Mowgli's based off another true one as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Feral children, right? Feral people. Mm-hmm. Okay, Puck Elf. Yes, the one that translates to Otterman is called the Kushtaka, and that's out of the Pacific Northwest. Yeah, and Barry had given me that as a blind remote viewing target as well, and we have a show on that. You gotta go through the archives on my playlist of remote viewing targets, and we have the Kushtaka. That was a great show, by the way, and it does it. Those things are deadly. They act like sirens out in the ocean, and they lure especially men out there. And they attack them and eat them, okay, and drown them. Okay, so got to be careful. Keep your head on a swivel, no matter where you go, because you don't know what's lurking out there. Okay, yeah. But nonetheless, okay. So there's a bear king. They call it the Bear King. There's other bears actually. Okay, we'll get into the data for this one. There's actually another bear. It's called the Beast of Bears, and this is in an area that's close by. This is not the same thing, though. It's not supposed to be the same thing. Unless I've been doing my research wrong on this today. This is actually the Beast of Bears out of Alice, Texas, from 1973. There was a man named Philip Hyde. Okay, he was a conservationist and a pioneer landscape photographer. So he was out there taking pictures of the woods, the landscape. He was taking photos when he came in contact. He came face to face with a colossal bear. And what I was thinking when I heard that, I was thinking, oh man, it had to be like a grizzly or something. Sounds like a grizzly. It said it was colossal, but it had fur that was missing. It had hideous scars all over its body. And since this has happened, people have claimed that they have seen this bear. It's like a bearzilla, if you want to call it a bearzilla.
Cave-faced bear, the short-faced bear.
A short-faced bear. That's right. You know what? I think I did a little clip for a movie that Connor Flynn, Bigfoot Anon, had done. And I was some kind of scientist talking about the short-faced bear or something. That was fun.
But anyway, a lot of reports of that. Reports of them being still around too. So
no, those are gigantic. The short-faced bear is like some kind of prehistoric behemoth. Yeah. Yep. Oh my gosh, it's like a Titan bear. That's what I guess. But they said this thing has been seen. This gigantic bear has been seen in Florida, Virginia, Tennessee, and other states. They describe it as having 6-inch claws, glowing red eyes. Glowing red eyes makes it anomalous to me. Okay, glowing red eyes and semi-aquatic, and it had grown gills, which is weird. What is that other? There's another one that Barry had given me. Some kind of bear. It's almost like a bear that has like webbed hands. I can't remember the name of this creature. It's a cryptid out of one of the lakes in Texas, I think. Oh, it might have been in Texas. Gosh, dang it.
I'm trying
maybe the chat knows. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't.
The Fort something bear. I can't remember. Anyways, anybody in the chat knows. Y'all stick it in the. Y'all see it in the chat. Okay. The Lake Worth monster. Maybe that's what the Lake Worth monster is. I think. I don't know. anyways, we're here to talk about the Bear King tonight. Okay. So we'll get into the Bear King. All right. So this is something I guess the target is just the Bear King. And it's got the date on it. The prompt has the date on it and everything here. Oh, to Marble Falls, Texas. Now, I do want to also let you guys know that there is a brewery. Like, you know how people will like take like their local legend and like they'll run with it? There's actually a brewery there. And I am not sponsored by these people, y'all. I'm just showing this for educational purposes here. But it's called the Bear King Brewing Company up there. This is in Marble Falls. Okay.
I gotta go.
And their crest actually has a Bear King on it. It's like a bear with a crown on it. So there's that. And here's a depiction of this woman getting kidnapped. It was actually supposed to be a child. She's probably like a teenager, most likely. And being kidnapped by the bear.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's
Sorry, that just hit me. I remember that photo.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is what we're dealing with, y'all. Okay, this is what we're dealing with. So let's get into the data. Okay, let's just get into the data. Let me go over the sensory data, and then we'll get into the analytic overlay. And okay, so here's my sensory data. I wrote down rolling, moving, dark, large, regret, explore, dizzy, confused, and difficult. That was my data. Okay. And my sensory data. Now for the analytic overlay for this target right here, I wrote down comparison. I know some of this may not make sense, y'all. That makes sense to me either. Comparison, compact, caves, which is actually kind of cool because this girl's supposed to have been taken back to a cave, right? Cave. So I wrote down cave and cave entrance. I'll just go through all of it, I guess. Warrant. I don't know. Warrant. I know, like, this is remote viewing for you guys. It doesn't always make sense. Okay. But our animal. And I do want to point out for my ideograms that I wrote out, my first ideogram was an animal. The second was vegetation. And the third was a vehicle, which I find that kind of fascinating because, like, I know this is not a vehicle, Eric, but that girl's being carried by something, right? So she's being, I know it's kind of reaching. It's kind of reaching, but I don't know.
Not really.
Okay, so I wrote an animal, food and a runner, food and runner, escape and evade, or escape and evade, invasion, invade, urban escape and evasion. I wrote that too. So it was I got like a whole clump of like escape and evasion, evade and escape. Okay, and so and then I wrote down a compound. I mean, a compound could be like where people live, I guess. Or I wrote down compounded, and then I wrote down drugs and drugged too. Okay. But so I'm just putting it all out there because none of it makes sense to me really. But I do think that it's interesting that I did pick up on a cave and an animal. Okay. So that's good. So that's in there. So I think that's on target. And my drawing was actually looks like a cave entrance. Okay. It kind of does look like a cave a little bit. Right there. I mean, it could be anything, but it could be interpreted as like maybe being a cave. That's my sketch that I did.
Well, and that cave could be his compound, his safety.
And a compound would mean there's like more there too, right? Like maybe there's a bunch of these things out there.
Oh yeah. Maybe I wouldn't put that out of the realm of possibility at all.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they got their little backwoods cult out there of hairy men. Okay, so maybe. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to go through some of this. Now, I was actually, I picked up on something that was like difficult, dangerous, and warned. Okay, warned. Like there was something warned, a warning. I wrote down expedition, hunting, hunt party, and hunt club. Okay, so I was getting some kind of hunt. Some kind of hunting was going on. Somebody was tired and exhausted. Something got cracked. And something was old. I was picking up on a house. Like there was some housing in this data. Something that was old. I wrote down old age, ancient people, settled in oldest time. Okay, so something was very old. Now, maybe that's referring to, because the target is the Bear King. Whatever this thing was that took this girl, right? The Bear King. And I was picking up on something that was very old and ancient, like ancient people. So that means multiples. And so it could be like the forest people. You know what I mean? It could be that, but whatever it was very old. They've been there for a long time. All right. So there's that. All right. This is the last page. I have page 3 for my stage 4 data. I actually wrote down slaves. That was in my data. Slave. I mean,
yeah. I can see that.
I mean, maybe they're trying to kidnap people to make them into their slaves. I mean, I don't know. It's a thought. Okay. Actually, some of my sensory data was like disjointed and apart and cruel. I picked up on something that was very cruel. I said picked apart cruelty and animal cruelty was in the data. And I was picking up on being in the woods, hot during the day, cold at night. Okay. I kept picking up on that kind of data. I was feeling physical pain. There was like physical pain involved with this, very uncomfortable. And I heard somebody say, look at that. Like I heard that somebody, like a voice say that, look at that. And then I wrote down haunted, hunted, and declared an ending, like an ending or something like that. So I don't know. Maybe it was kind of like the data was kind of like a progression of like, maybe it was this whole case of this girl getting kidnapped or whatever, or taken. And like the end was like the final ending. Cause the last thing I wrote down was an end. It was something that was haunted and hunted and declared an end. So like, maybe that's like them unaliving this thing or something. I don't know.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. So when you're talking about hunting and people getting, to me, it's like people getting torn apart, hunting members being unalived. I think she is probably stole for another reason than food source, but which would run into the slave side of it. But I think whoever was probably trying to find her, the hunting party was trying to find her. I'd like to know if anybody in that hunting party, if there was one, and if any of them were unalived or disappeared, because that would fit with your readings to a T, because that makes perfect sense. They're going after him. He's like, hey, dude, she's mine. I stole her by right, so
she's my slave.
I want to protect what's mine. Yeah, I want to protect what's mine. You got to think how these things think, and that would make perfect sense if that's the case, and they think that way. Okay, you're trying to take what's mine, and you're trying to hurt me. Well, I want to show you who's the main rooster in this hen house here, and I'm going to come after you. And I can see that being true.
Oh yeah, and it says a vehicle is a thing used for transporting people or objects. Yeah, She's being transported. So
yeah,
the hairy man was a vehicle.
Yeah. And that fits with a lot of native lures. So, I mean, it makes perfect sense. Your reading makes sense to me on a lot of that stuff. And as I'm listening to it, I'm trying to put the story together in my head as I'm hearing your stuff. And honestly, what makes sense is how I described what was going on. I could be wrong. I could be completely 100% wrong. But that's what makes sense in my mind, giving what I know of past encounters, stories, and legends.
Yes. Love slaves, yes, if you want to call it that, Moondog Davis. I don't think there's a whole lot of love there, but yeah, that's
they're all one-sided.
one-sided. Yeah, that's terrible. God. Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing in the data that says anything about Bigfoot, or Sasquatch or anything like that. It's the word animal is in my data though. Okay, and animals in there, but the chances of there being an animal like a bear that actually took this woman and that started beating on its chest like a gorilla, that doesn't make sense. A bear wouldn't do that, right?
No.
So
to me, I mean, everything on that description screams Bigfoot. Those and us we're one of the few types of creatures that can do it. I mean, I used to do it when I was chasing my girls around. I would sit there and just go to town, chasing them around. We'd be the only types that could do that. So bear's not going to do that. Dog's not going to do that. The feline's not going. None of them are going to do it. It'd be, in the ape family, I guess you can say, somewhere along there to Gorillas, monkeys, stuff like that, apes. They're all the ones that can do it. Human.
Yeah. And I think they said that it screamed like a panther too, or something. And I think what you say, it was like a mix between a human. Is this the one? It's like a human and an animal combined. And then some reports were like it sounded like a panther. The men said that.
May's bringing up a good point, because when I was doing some Neanderthal show and a Bigfoot show, I brought up the same theory. There's a humanoid looking Bigfoot. Now, are they the lost remnant of Neanderthal? Because we've recently found out that, through recent archaeological studies, that Neanderthal was bigger, stronger, and hairier than what we originally believed. Well, it fits well with that style of Bigfoot. Or is it a Bigfoot human hybrid? Could that be what this thing is here? Absolutely, it could be. And there's plenty of reports of Bigfoot sounding like panthers and sounding like other animals. Yeah. I mimic animals. If I can mimic animals, I know they can mimic animals. I mean, I mimic animals for hunting. I mimic animals for call signs to, my fellow hunters in the woods. If I'm hunting with a buddy of mine, I want him to know where I'm at. I usually give off of the Bob White call. And I let you know, hey, I'm over here, or, a crow call or something like that. I use animal sounds for different reasons. I am a firm believer that Bigfoot would do the same thing.
Oh, yeah. I've heard Bigfoots make weird sounds and try to sound like owls and all sorts of different animals out there. And the head of some of the guys on one of my teams, one of my old school team, they used to tell us stories about how they would hear like a cow or something, and but it was like on top of a mountain where there's no cows. Okay, like there's no cows up there, and it didn't sound quite like a cow, but it was something trying to imitate a cow, that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, that day that DA was out here, and we heard that howl in midday. I chalked it up to a cow at first because I'm hearing that stuff all the time out here, and it was very close to a cow sound. Well, you got this many cows around here, it wouldn't be uncommon for Bigfoot to mimic that to hide their presence.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, anything to survive. These Bigfoots are very smart. Okay. They're smart. Listen, if we can't see them and they're out there hiding from us, they're a lot smarter than we give them credit for. A lot smarter than some people give them credit for. I know how smart they are. Yeah,
absolutely.
That's pretty wild. But I mean, we don't hear as much today about people getting kidnapped by, Bigfoots and stuff. But the question comes up pretty often. It's like, where are all these people going? Where are they going when they go missing out of our national parks? And
when is the one type of person that goes up missing all the time that's never reported?
What type of person? Homeless people. That's right. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Bigfoot Dwarf did a show with me a while back. We talked about reports of dogmen attacking homeless people in Los Angeles and in California, out in that county. And yeah, I mean, they're not accounted for. Well, and plus, then we got like past few years, we had a lot of people who are like undocumented people that came into the country, and and that kind of ties into also this is all for entertainment purposes only, y'all. Okay, but we talked about the Southern Border Patrol encountering dogmen out there, and they're being kind of like it's almost like an open season on people that are just coming into coming over the border and things like that, because there's no trace of a lot of these people. There's nobody's they're not accounted for in some way or another, and yeah.
So I mean, the fact that we're saying there's no reports of this today, there's probably more reports than it's just not classified. You got to think, when I've researched newspapers, and I've researched I don't know how many newspapers through the Library of Congress, you can see how they change the wording of things through time. So back in one certain time, they were, at late 1800s, early 1900s, they call it as a solid. But as the years go, you start seeing where it gets changed to something else and something else and something else. So that could be, it could still be going on this day. We're just not seeing it as that because it's worded differently.
Yeah. Yeah. Christopher says some hits are actually weapons tests from black projects. There's all sorts of stuff going on behind the scenes. And yeah, that's pretty wild. Yeah, and
Dawn, and I agree with you. Some are not reported. Yeah, absolutely, Dawn. I agree with you 100% on that. Yeah. Sorry, every now and then I glance over to chat. Your chat moves faster than mine does. It's harder to keep track of yours.
Yeah, it goes really fast, and so I'm trying to keep up, y'all. I am, and I have to kind of scroll up and down because I miss so many comments. So I'm sorry, you guys, if I don't get all the comments up here tonight. My chat goes really quickly.
Dude, it's awesome.
And it's amazing. But I missed so many wonderful comments. So I'm so sorry, y'all, if I missed your comments. And if I miss saying hey to everybody, I'm so sorry too. I'm just gonna say hey, a blanketed hello to everybody tonight. Okay. But yeah, it's what Nick and I were talking about. Nick Sylvester came on, and I think you and I have talked about this too. Was the Border Patrol agents? What he was saying, and I think we talked, like I said, you and I talked about it. The agents, there were 3 of them apparently, and what they had seen was a group of people crossing the border, and it was like a family or something. It was a bunch of people, and they got stalked and then torn apart basically by dogmen, is what the report was. And when they reported it, I think one of the guys had gone down to Mexico to visit his family, went to South America or Central America to go visit family, and when he was gone. The other 2 guys, I think they died. Like something happened to the other 2 gentlemen when the other patrol agents, when he came back, and he decided not to come back after he found out they had both died. There is a massive, I'm not saying it was related, but the suspicion is that it was all related. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
They saw something they weren't supposed to see, and they reported on it, and then they ended up gone off the face of the earth.
Which you hear that quite often.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you were in the military, and I know it's not the same as the Border Patrol, but it's still, enforcement and stuff like that, and protection. You worked with the cartels, right? You worked against the cartels, not with them. So you got some experience with all that.
It's kind of funny. I went from hunting them to I've been talking to a few of them I've ran into. It's like, hope you don't hold it against me. I ran into him a couple times. It's like, I hope you don't hold it against me, but what I did before. And he just kind of chuckled and goes, yeah, I know.
Oh, Lord.
I've had that happen a couple times. I'll be at a bar somewhere, like I got a friends that own a bar, and I've been up there, and one of them guys was there. I was like, God, don't hold it against me. Because no, you're good, dude. It's a cat and mouse game, man. It's a cat and mouse game. That's all it is. But no, I mean, there's a lot of weirdness. There's a lot of stuff in the military. There's top secret clearance, and there's things I've tried to access or I've accessed and then lost access to, because I get told a very famous phrase that is above my pay grade.
I think I've started saying that myself lately. Okay. Yeah. And that's above my pay grade. If there's anything that I don't, especially if I don't have the answer to something, I'm just like, that's above my pay grade. I have no idea.
Yeah. That was, I got told that a few times. Why can't I access this? I got top secret clearance, because that's above your pay grade. Or I'll lose access to something I accidentally stumbled into, which honestly, I don't know how I stumbled into it. It had to be a clerical error some way, which does happen, and I just happened to be on it at the right time when it happened, and I got shut down pretty quick and told I can't look at it no more because it's above my pay grade.
Oh my God, that's kind of the easy way to get out of answering questions from people too, though. I see how your brain works. I'm just kidding. I know your tactics.
I knew what that meant was, oh shit, I need to shut up, or my ass or my butt's going to be in trouble.
Yeah,
sorry, exactly. I was trying not to cuss.
It's okay.
Yes, Carl, I did. Well, not quite half of it, but yes, I got my lawnmower jerry rigged enough where I could start cutting that jungle out there. I'll hopefully be able to pick the correct part up tomorrow.
Oh,
I did some rednecking. And got my lawnmower going.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of rednecking, we're talking about this. Reports from the south. Oh, it's south of the border. Okay. Christopher's asking, there are a lot, or he's saying actually, this is a statement. There are a lot of werewolf reports from south of the border.
Yeah,
and
that's what I was talking about earlier in the show.
Yeah, I would assume that would have a lot to do with is it Santeria and like the voodoo and things like that? The Satanism, maybe black magic. It'd have to be black magic, right? If it's werewolves.
It wasn't werewolves. It was most of the reports I'm hearing wasn't werewolves. It was actual dogmen who had done it. So that's a totally different situation. Dogmen and werewolves they're completely different. Werewolves are magically created, where dogmen are naturally born. So the reports I've heard, I did hear of some werewolves. I don't know if that's a misidentification or if it was actual werewolf. But most of the reports I heard of attacks across the border was done by packs of dogmen crossing over. And if Corey's still in the chat, that's why I was asking earlier, because he lives off the red. Me and him was talking about that one day. And even he's heard a lot of dogmen crossing over that border where he lives at in Oklahoma, going across the red. And the red, when I say red, folks, I mean the Red River. Sorry, I'm old school. I'm old Marine grunt. We kind of shorten words down. So when I say red, that means the Red River. Sorry, guys.
Thank you for clarifying. Yeah, I didn't know either. I was like, okay. I didn't know what that was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brujeria. Am I pronouncing that right? Yeah, that's like a shaman. Let's call it a shaman. That reminds me actually of that video. Like I showed these videos of like we were talking about cursed objects. I guess talking about werewolves and S-walkers. It has a lot to do with curses, right? Well, I did a show where we were talking about, I don't know if we were talking about Annabelle, we were talking about some kind of cursed objects and cursed dolls and wax figures and mannequins and stuff. And there was that one wax figure of a woman who was out of, I think it was in Mexico, I guess. And she was a brujeria. Is that how you say it? She was a shaman. Some people will call her a witch. Okay.
Yeah.
An herbalist shaman and stuff. But anyways, there was that wax figure of her, and this guy was videoing it on his phone, and it was looking at him, and the head moved just slightly. And it looked as though it was alive. And it looked like one of those Madame Tussauds wax figures, basically. Yeah. And that was creepy. That was really creepy. It's not supposed to be.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just saying its head was fixed, like the wax figure of that woman was fixed, and it wasn't supposed to move at all, and her head moved slightly. So maybe the wax started melting. Maybe it was really hot. I mean, who knows?
It could be. There's a lot of witchcraft in Mexico and further down south. A lot of witchcraft. So I mean, look at that. It was at the Mexico City police officer that was chased off by a witch, flying at him and going after him. I mean, there's a lot of that. I mean, that is very, very, very common and thick down in there, in them parts. I mean, you got shamans, you got witches, you got. I know I'm forgetting one. I can't think of. There's another one down there too, and I can't think of. But I remember there's shaman, there's witches, and there's another one that's down there. Yeah, that stuff is extremely common down there.
Oh yeah, wow. Well, I want to take a quick commercial break. Larry Sharp, thank you for being a member of the Hunt Club for 15 months. My gosh, that is huge. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all your support, Larry. And when Clan Ken. Native Voices and Lands. Thank you, Ken, for becoming a member of the Hunt Club tonight. That means the world to me. I'm glad you're here. I got tons of videos down there in the members only little section on YouTube. So go check out all those videos. And I'll be probably put another one up tomorrow, actually. I got a hair in my mouth.
Yeah, I got to do one soon myself.
Yes. Thank you, Ken. That is so sweet of you. I appreciate that. Big time. And oh my gosh. I don't know what y'all are talking about in this chat. I have obviously missed a few messages right here. And Scott, you're always putting in interesting comments. My ex is still cruising around on her broom. Oh, the witch. Is she a witch? My ex is probably cruising around on his broom as well. Okay, so I feel you. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I don't want to say what I want to say.
Oh, I see. Bigfoot dwarf has said flying witches of Veracruz. That's interesting. We'll have to look into that. But okay. So nonetheless, let's getting back to the Bear King. Yeah. I mean, just from the story alone, and then like the data, I would say that was probably a Bigfoot. Okay.
Yeah.
Just from my data would suggest it's some kind of big animal or something, but Bigfoots actually Sasquatch are classified as dangerous animals on it's like the U.S. Air Force map, some kind of map, like a topography map that our U.S. Air Force was using, I believe, and it says dangerous animals on it. It's got Sasquatch on it, so they are classified as animals, apparently.
Yeah.
They're not like a class of human.
For me, they're a humanoid type creature, but some do classify them as animal. I see that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Take it easy walking.
Yeah. Colleen says there are more native tribes in Mexico than tribes in the U.S.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll let you. Oh, and let's choose a owl squatch.
Yeah, I remember that word. Lechuza. Okay, I remember that. Yeah.
Well, Lechuza is like the owl witch. It's almost like a shape-shifting owl, a witch that's an owl, right? Have you ever seen that video of the owl that's in the church? And they say the owl is actually an omen of like a witch, right? It's a bad omen. And so the congregation is like trying to sing to like get it out of there. And so they're singing, they're getting louder and louder, and the owl starts just dancing to the music, and they were trying to sing it to scare it out of there, but it like started vibing. It was like vibing to the beat, and it's really funny. Yeah,
I remember. I think I've seen that. I can't remember. That sounds very familiar.
That's a great video, actually. And if you get a chance, they're playing their tambourines and clapping, and this owl is just chilling. Do 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 do, and yeah, it didn't work. Whatever they're trying to do, I don't think it was a witch. Okay, I'm just saying. It was just an owl wanting to vibe out to their music. So, but anyways, yeah, lots of bears reported taking care of children, saving children's lives that have been lost in the woods. I think this is similar, except this was a child kidnapping bear, okay, which is horrible. But same kind of concept though. I think it was probably a Bigfoot. Okay, I am 100% convinced those children were not all taken care of by bears in the woods of these national parks. I'm not. I don't buy it. Maybe they were, but I think that it'd be more likely a Bigfoot. Yeah, taking care of these kids. Probably not a werewolf. Werewolves aren't going to take care of children. They're probably going to eat them. Okay.
Dogman might. Werewolf, most likely not. No.
Dogman. Yeah. You know what? That would be really interesting to hear if a child was taken care of by a dogman.
There has actually been very few, I think like 2 or 3 reports of that actually happening.
No way.
Makes me wonder if Romulus and Remus weren't taken care of by one.
By a she-wolf, like the she-wolf of Mobile, Alabama. She had breastises. Mm-hmm. You know, my good friend, Jeff Townsend, who came on the show. Rest in peace to my good friend Jeff. Jeff was on, and he came on to talk to us. Cryptid was on there with me. Mark was on the show with me, and he talked about his Dogman encounter with he had it in the crosshairs of his rifle, and it was a female dog woman with breast. Mm-hmm. And of course I had to ask that question, like, was it like a row of breasts or was it 2? And he was like, it was 2, like a female, like a human. Yeah. She didn't have teeth.
Would lead towards a Dogman.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. I don't know. I don't know how I just got in the topic of boobs. Okay. But I guess it's like taking care of children, taking care of human children out there. Yeah. I mean, but see, that would be putting a human characteristics on things that are not human. And I think that's
an elder big brother too.
What would you say? I'm sorry. I was
talking. Dogmen are known as elder big. Oh, sorry. Dogmen are known as elder big brothers as well. So, I mean, that is extremely possible.
Elder big brothers. man. Okay. Well, I don't know. I mean, sometimes when I have conversations with people about Bigfoots and stuff, and they're, we even with animals, even with our dogs. Okay, you got dogs, I got dogs, you got cats. I used to have cats.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we assign human characteristics to our pets, and they're not human.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like watching those dog like shows, like what was that, Caesar Milan and stuff. And he'll tell people, he's like, you're treating it like it's a human, and it's not. They're still dogs. Okay. And it's almost like we can't, and not saying that we are, but it's important not to just give like Bigfoots and Dogman any kind of like human characteristics or think of them as humans, because they're their own thing. I mean, maybe I think Bigfoots are more closely related to humans than Dogmen are.
I would agree that. So if we can breed with them and they can breed with us, that means DNA wise, and we're going to get on a scientific level here, on biology. DNA wise, we're dang near identical. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to breed. So, absolutely, they're on the same line as humanoid.
They're humanoid. They're definitely humanoid. Moondog, a lot of people like boobs. Do what? Yeah.
You got them on the bubarros.
Yes, and honest content telepathy works with animals as well. It does. It does. I know my dog can read my thoughts, and I can read hers too.
Yeah. I mean, they each got their own personality. I mean, Rat Dog's got his own personality. Knucklehead's got his. Taco Meat's got his. The cats have got theirs. They all got their own personality. I mean, they're not humans, but they doesn't mean they don't have an own personality.
Yes. That's right. That's right. I think my dog ignores me though. I know that we've got that telepathic connection, but she does that on purpose. Mm-hmm. She chooses to ignore me. She thinks that she's the boss.
Yeah, she ignores you till she wants something human. You will give me food. Human.
Exactly.
You will walk me.
You will. I know, right? Or I will whine and bark during your shows if you don't do what I say. She knows that she's got me stuck between a rock and a hard place sometimes. Okay. Yep. She knows how to work it, but nonetheless, it's yeah.
Oh, sorry. Stalin was making a good point. You're absolutely right. Another name is Shiitonka.
Interesting. Let's see. What is Shiitonka again?
Means elder big brother.
Oh, elder big brother. Okay, gotcha. There's Joe. Hey, Joe. Yeah, it's interesting. MK Davis. Let me bring this up real quick, because MK Davis, one of my favorite presentations on Bigfoot I've ever been to was MK Davis at the first Alabama Bigfoot Town Hall, East Alabama Bigfoot Town Hall that I went to, and I was just there as an observer, and I was able to go see some good friends of mine speak. And MK was talking about in his presentation, not only did he show the Patty film and everything, like the good footage of it, he was going down like the different types of Bigfoots and stuff, and talking about Melba Ketchum's DNA study, I believe, and talking about how some, like the Patty type. I mean, there's some types of Bigfoots. I don't think it's all of them, but some of them are like human mixed with something other, right? And that's what the Melba Ketchum study was saying. Is the DNA, like the mitochondrial DNA is like, mitochondrial is the mother, so that'd be like the human, I guess. And then it was mixed with something different. So there is a human aspect to these Bigfoots, y'all, and absolutely, and that's why they look so human-like, some of them. This is kind of, I don't know if I should say this. I guess I'll go ahead and say it. I don't care. Somebody was telling me that after the Patty film, actually, that let's just say that from what I was told, this is what I've been told recently, past a little while ago, that there's actually like video or photographic evidence of her being dead, and that the guys were really, the people that were there were so upset because she looked human. They thought that they had unalived a human, basically. And now they knew it wasn't a human, but it was more closely related to a human than an animal. When she was dead.
Look how many. Nine. Stop.
Your dog.
Look how look how many reports of people that's brought one up in their sights and they said they couldn't pull the trigger because it looked too much like a human.
Mm-hmm. That was like with Jeff Townsend with that dog woman. He was like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't pull the trigger. That's what he said. He's like, I couldn't do it. And you know, and it's something I always find really odd is like the guys, anyone who's ever had a Bigfoot or Dogman in their sight, in the rifle, they're camouflaged, they're hidden, but yet they're looking at something through their sight, and whatever it is has full awareness that they have a gun pointed at them. And they look directly at them and shake their head or show their teeth, or they do something. Isn't that, it's almost kind of weird, but it's not. Okay. Like it's got full awareness that they're about to be, you know, someone is actually thinking that's where the telepathy kicks in, right? Yeah. I think that's where there's like that telepathic connection.
And everything has a telepathic connection. Some are more in tune to it than the others. You know, the natives, and I've said it on this show many times, mine and Williams and other people's. You know, natives tell you when you go hunting, you don't think about the hunt, you think about something else because your thoughts soar through the air like arrows and they pick up on it.
Yeah. That's why, that's why we always say, like, when I go out bigfooting or I go out in the woods, like I don't mean any harm to anything out there. But if you hurt me, I'm going to try to hurt you back. Okay. Depending how fast we are. Okay. But yeah, oops, hold on. Oh my gosh. I forgot to plug in my computer, y'all. Hold on one second. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, good.
That's the second show in a row I've done that, y'all. Okay. But yes, we're good. We're good. We got the battery juice back. It's when there's a telepathic connection there, and what I do is I always go out with an open heart when I'm out in the woods, putting off the energy. Basically, first of all, like I'm always trying to, I try not to go out in the woods if I'm in a bad mood or anything too, but if you are in a bad mood, the best place to go is the woods, y'all. Okay, I'm just saying, you go recharge your batteries. You know, it's very refreshing to get out there, and it's a natural recharge. Go hug a tree, man. If you're having a bad day, a bad mood, I'm not kidding. Go hug a tree. It'll take all that negative energy off your body and absorb it. And so it's a good thing. But yeah, to go out there, you know, if somebody goes out there and they've just got the intention of wanting to shoot whatever comes across their path, things out there, the animals are going to know. Okay. The animals are going to know, the Bigfoots are going to know, the Dogmen are going to know. And that's why, you know, I'm going to say I'm pretty careful about like where I go out in the woods and who I go with and who I take. And I know before I go out there, I know exactly what the intentions are of everybody I'm out there with. You know what I mean? And I do have one team that wants to go out there, and they might be hell bent on wanting to do something to a Dogman or something. And so I'm aware of that. Okay. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's good, but I'm saying I'm aware of it. And then I can make my decision knowing like what the intentions are when we go out there. Okay. Yeah. Because that's way more dangerous out there when you're going out with people that are looking to unalive something as opposed to like we're going out there to go communicate with something and have no.
You think about it. Think how many reports have came. Dang allergy, sorry. Think of how many reports that came across where they found the body's missing, but they found a jacked up gun wrapped around a tree stand tore up or something else going on. I think that's people who took the shot. I don't want to be one of those guys. I don't.
No, I don't either. No. I've always kind of joked around. I'm like, well, if I ever, you know, you can't find me, there's going to be a pile of brass right there. Wherever I got taken from, I'm not going to go out quietly. Okay. And
I'm going to go out screaming.
What it is. Yeah. Go out screaming. But nonetheless, I know it's kind of dark talking about stuff like that, but it's just like I said earlier today, it's part of it.
It's a sad truth. Yeah, I mean, it's a sad truth of it. I mean, most of us, we're not going out there to do that. We really don't. You know, what I want to do is like, you know, when I caught the Bigfoot vocals here off my porch, that's what I want. That's what I'm after. I'm after, you know, documenting, seeing, learning. I'm not out there to unalive these things, and I think they know it. And I think that's why I've had, you know, so much activity here in the 33 years I've been here is because they know I'm not out there to actively hunt them. Now, does that mean, I've had 33 years of peaceful encounters? Does that mean that it won't change one day? Yeah, it could change. You can get one with a bad attitude or one that wants to be the new rooster on the block, and that can change very rapidly. I'm not going to say that won't ever happen, because that's always a possibility.
That's right. That's right. And my buddy Joe here, Bayou Kraken. What's up, Joe? Running from Dogman has a way for you to forget your problems. Yeah.
I ain't got to be the fastest runner. I just got to be faster than the slowest one.
That's right. Listen, I do all this for fun, by the way. And yes, I do go run. I have never ran from a dogman. I have never ran from a dogman. I have run towards dogmen. I've never run from them. Not yet. Okay. Mm-hmm. But yes, people, that's a good way to forget about your problems. That's for sure. Yeah. And you have a whole new lease on life if you've survived that. Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah. You think about it. I mean, we literally go in dark woods hunting monsters.
I know, right?
So that's literally what we do.
With no flashlights.
We hunt ghosts. We hunt or supernatural stuff. I mean, we go and look for that high strangeness for fun and for education.
That's right. Yeah. Christopher says they can smell your intentions.
Yeah.
100%.
I agree with that. And I also think, it's like I said, we talked about a few minutes ago, we all got telepathy. Just some of us are more in tune. And I speak redneck, so if I'm saying it wrong, y'all, that's just, I'm redneck. I'm just a hillbilly from Missouri. So, if we all got that, it's just some is more in tune to it, the others, you and me did a show on my channel about, energies. Mm-hmm. That's a form of it. You're sensing those energies. That's a form of it. My great grandmother Smith, who was full-blooded Cherokee, oddly enough, she did not like Native people, but she was full-blooded Cherokee. You can be looking for something, she not even look at you, you're not saying nothing, she'll tell you exactly what you're looking for and where it's at. My mom used to know when I needed to call her, and I just knew when she needed to call me. We had that connection that runs deep in our family, but we're more connected to it than other people. Once you clear your mind, you clear your heart, and you start thinking and looking, that's when you start seeing. And then it'll click. And all of a sudden, bam, you're starting seeing this. I knew my wife was pregnant, way before she even called and told me, and I was in Iraq.
Oh, wow.
I even had sympathy veins in Iraq.
You were having cramps and kicks in the belly? Oh, my gosh.
I was having stomach pains and cravings, and I had the same exact cravings as her.
Oh my gosh, you were craving peanut butter and pickles, weren't you?
It was Mexican food and chocolate.
Oh my God, when I always crave Mexican food, but you know what I did, and I never really told a whole lot of people, and I'm surprised my son did not come out as a spicy chicken sandwich, because I craved Chick-fil-A spicy chicken sandwiches with a bunch of mayonnaise and an unsweet tea and fries every single day, y'all, every day.
I had a spicy chicken sandwich with Swiss cheese for lunch today.
Oh man, that sounds good. No, I had that up until the day before I had my son the next morning. I waddled into Chick-fil-A to go get that, because I was so craved that. That's the only craving I really had, was that the whole time. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
So anyways,
Machete, I agree with you on that comment. Absolutely.
Yeah. When you run, you activate the predator instinct. And that's that's true. 100%. I don't know why I started thinking about my own dog at that point. That's true. It just depends. It kind of depends on what animal it is too, though. Right. And stuff. But if you're out there in the woods with, if a dog man's chasing you, but what do you do if you're getting chased? If a dog man runs after you, if you just stand there, it's going to get you. If you run, it's going to get you. I'm just saying. Yeah. I guess you got to stand your ground, and that's where the little hill of shell casings will be left. I guess. You know what I mean? Because you really can't do anything.
I've been in some pretty sketchy situations, and a couple recently here on my own property. I didn't run; I stood my ground, but it happens, and I just kind of calmly went back to my place where my safety was. Now, and I still had to venture back out even afterwards. When I was dealing with that mimic-like thing. It's you got to stand your ground, but at the same time, you can stand your ground and you can still wind up as a steamy pile of poo on the forest floor.
Yes, that's not a pretty thought, but yeah, just gotta be careful out there. And hey, you could either wind up a big pile of poo on the forest floor, or maybe a bear or a bear man or a Bigfoot will come help take care of you until somebody can, if you get lost in the woods. I don't know. There is some humanity in these creatures out there. If they're taking care of children and stuff like that. But they're also kidnapping women and children and stuff. So, I'd mentioned Dennis Martin earlier when I thought that's who you were describing. I should have just let you talk, and I just kept interrupting you. I'm so sorry about that. I was like, it's Dennis Martin. It's Dennis Martin. It was not Dennis Martin. But however, he was, that was back in the 1960s, I think, and he disappeared from the Smoky Mountains National Forest. And some people did claim that they thought they had seen like a hairy man or a feral person running off with a child that day. So I don't know. That is, the number of feral people taking humans is got to be pretty small, I would think. Here's my thing about that. And I was having a conversation. I was messaging back and forth with Star Fox Kenny the other day because he sent me a chart and he was like, it's showing that like the majority of people, I'm going to say one of the top places people are going out of these national parks, they're being taken by feral people. And I was like, I don't believe that. Like, I just don't agree with that. But that's my opinion from my research and everything. I just don't think feral people are taking the majority of these people out of these parks.
They're a small portion of it. They're not the complete
tiny little portion. Oh, tiny, maybe a tiny portion, maybe. But nonetheless, because you don't hear about that very often. There's not. Here's my theory on that. Maybe feral people are being confused for backwoods cults people. Okay, like people who are living off grid that are in these like out in the Talladega forest, where that man got shot last year and his fiance was with them, and they got robbed by these two women. Ended up shooting them, and he shot her and she shot him, and he died. And the lady survived, but the police, when they went to go investigate, they found like five different encampments of people from some kind of like, I want to say it was like a religious cult. And they found, and this is per a FOIA request, by the way, and they found witchcraft tools. That's what they called it, witchcraft. They said crystals, and I got crystals. I love crystals. All right, don't be knocking crystals. Okay, I love my crystals, but they said witchcraft tools and statues and stuff like that out there. And in this cult that was out there, they called it a cult. They were known to have committed homicides and kidnapping people and all sorts of stuff like that. So they're not given a good name, okay, to the people that are trying to live off grid and these, and I don't think that's legal, by the way. I don't think you're not supposed to actually go in a national forest and go set up camp forever out there with like a religious cult. No. But I don't know the laws on that.
Well, for me, no, it's not legal. For me, I think there's feral people, and then there's true feral people, and that's people that basically turn animalistic. I think there's two different types. That's just my opinion, but reading reports of feral people tells me that there's two different kinds out there. There's the ones that just want to live off grid, and there's the ones that basically go back to animalistic style living. Okay, bud, you're sitting still. Go back to your pillow. Sorry, guys. He may be. I've spent a week away from home, so he's been a little needy.
So the two different types. There's two different types of feral people. Then, okay, so like the animalistic, like the hills have eyes. That, and then there's like people that, I mean, I think the people that are living off grid, I wouldn't call them feral though. Would you? I don't know.
No, I don't classify. I know that's what they're classified as. I don't.
They are.
I don't. Yeah, I agree with you.
Is that like a legal classification or something? Like people that are off grid are called feral?
That's what a lot of people are calling them.
Oh, okay. Well,
I've heard that often.
Okay. No, I'm just saying that would kind of change things as far as like a graph would go. It'd be like, oh, the feral. It depends on the definition of feral. But see, in my definition of feral, it's like animalistic, like the hills have eyes kind of stuff.
Yeah. I agree with you 100% on that. And that's why I tell people, are you sure it's feral people or people living off grid? Because I believe there is a difference, but a lot of people classify those people off grid as feral. They're not feral people. Feral means that this the true definition of feral is animalistic. So if they're not being animals, they're not feral. They're just off grid.
Exactly. See, people are classifying them as feral because they ain't country like we are. Okay. We don't, they didn't grow up in the mountains and the hills like we did. Okay. Out in the middle of nowhere. But I mean, you can go to Buc-ee's right now, and shout out to Buc-ee's. I do like that place a little bit. Okay, but they got shirts that say that I'm feral on it, and I was like, dang, I could get that, but then that's weird because I'm not feral. It's kind of like the new catchphrase. It's like, oh, I want to go live and be feral. I was like, really? I don't know. All right, hills have eyes. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't want to be an animal. I want to be me, just off grid.
Yeah. I'll be off grid. See, and that's the distinct. I just think it's good to make the distinction. That's my definition, y'all, of feral. I mean, we can look it up. We can do a whole show on ferals. Okay. And why not? Why not? I think maybe we'll do that one day. Okay. But I don't know. Harold, what's up, Harold? Harold says if Harold's feral, just kidding. I know Harold. He said you just might run across them Yellow Dell tribes up in them southern Appalachian mountains. Yes, probably so. Oh my God, I don't even know what that is, but that's really interesting. Thank you, Harold. Harold.
It's Feral Harold.
Feral Harold. That's right. And I would love to be off grid though. Off grid is the way to go. But then if I was off grid, I don't know if I'd be able to do these shows for you guys, because I don't know if I have internet, and so. I don't know. Gotta make sacrifices, I guess. So I'm not going off grid until I'm done talking with y'all. Okay. And I'm not done talking to y'all yet. All right. I'm gonna give y'all a good talking to. Yeah, right. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Yes, Scott. I love this information that comes out in the chats. The car wash manager makes $115,000 a year at Buc-ee's, by the way. You ever seen they have charts out there? They tell you exactly how much everybody that works there made. The bathroom attendants make more than probably I ever made at my government job. Okay, so I don't know. I'm just saying.
They sue small businesses left and right that's had names for a long time.
Oh,
and
no.
Run them out of business. I don't like that.
Oh, dang. That's like Walmart. It's all those big companies do that. That sucks. I know. Truck drivers don't like Buc-ee's too, by the way. So I learned that when we were out hunting we weren't hunting, but we were chasing dogmen in Alabama. Some of my friends are truck drivers and told me about that. So they're like, I was eating a taco from Buc-ee's when I got there. They're like, we don't like Buc-ee's. Okay. But anyways, I know.
Yeah.
They still got good brisket. Just saying.
They got a good poop room, but that's about it for me. I got my Buc-ee's poop when I'm out at work.
Oh, man. It's a perfect spot for me to go stop by when I'm leaving the woods, y'all, when we're going on Dogman investigations and stuff. I love coming across a Buc-ee's, y'all, especially if I've been out in the woods for 3 or 4 days with no shower. It's just great walking in public like that, let me tell you. But anyways, man, this has been a fun show tonight. This has been a lot of fun. And we've talked about all sorts of bodily functions tonight. And really dive down into the Texas cryptids and skinwalkers out there in Middle Texas. And we have a wonderful chat. This chat has just been off the chain tonight. You guys are so great. I had a hard time keeping up with all the comments tonight, but it means the world to me that you guys are here and learning and laughing with us tonight.
Yeah. If you ain't laughing and having a good time, you're not learning nothing and you ain't living.
If I'm not laughing, I'm crying.
Yeah. Patch Adams said it great. Laughter is the greatest medicine.
It is. Let's see. Harold says, I could find a Sasquatch wife. What?
I was reading.
I'm sorry, I pulled your comment up and I didn't read it yet. So now I'm just reading it, Harold. He could find him a Sasquatch wife while riding up in eastern Tennessee and western North Carolina mountains. I look like a big bearded Sasquatch. Yes, you do. Yes, you do, Harold. And I don't know. Just go look in the caves, okay? I bet you. I know a spot we know where some Bigfoots are, and Harley took us out to a good spot, and lots of Bigfoots. We'll hook it up, okay? SasquatchMatch.com. I'm just kidding. That opens up a whole can of worms right there.
Oh God! Hashtags Sasquatch wives.
You still have a Bigfoot. That's right. Hey, you might be onto something. I don't know. I did get asked when I first got into like speaking publicly and having my podcast and stuff. I think I was at KGRA, digital broadcasting. I had somebody send me a message and said, "Hey," I think it was on Facebook, and they were like, "Would you be interested in being on a Bigfoot dating show?" And I was like, "What?" I politely turned it down because I was scared. But they said it was actually, and I don't know if they ever did anything with that, but it was some producers that were asking if I would do like, it was almost like The Bachelorette or like The Bachelor or something. It was some kind of dating show, or like you go on dates where you go out in the woods with like other Bigfoot researchers. What could possibly go wrong? Just saying. I would watch that though. I would watch that. I would watch it, but it would just for the laughs.
I could.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't watch a whole lot of TV anymore either. So,
man, I mean, if that opportunity ever came back around, I don't know. Should I do it or not? I don't know, y'all. What do y'all think? I don't know. Probably not. That would just be embarrassing. I don't know.
Now, Naked and Afraid, I could do. I was looking at.
You would do that.
I would do Naked and Afraid in a heartbeat.
Oh my God.
Just because I hate clothes, I love being out in nature. So I mean, it fits me to a T. So I mean, why not? Let's go out there and I can make things laugh to death, so I can have food.
Oh man,
who's that fluffy guy over there? So oh my God! It's a fluffy hillbilly. Hey, food.
Oh my God. Man. Okay, well, this is funny. This shows are actually pretty funny tonight, y'all. Okay, Cryptid. Oh, what's up? This is Mark Lynch. In Western North Carolina, most of the people called feral are the producers, drug producers, living up in the Smoky Mountain. Yes,
Great North American meth head.
They are. Well, the hills have eyes. Okay, the hills have eyes. Yeah. Yes. And thank you for being here, Mark. It's good to see you. It is.
Oh God.
And
Skeeter.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I just caught it there.
I don't know. I got thrown off with the whole. I probably shouldn't have brought that up about the dating show, y'all. I know, but it's kind of funny. I don't know who that was that contacted me, but it was a long time ago. Long time ago.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have officially derailed. Hang tight. Keep your arms and hands and legs inside the vehicle the whole time.
I know, right? This is that was my cue. I just lost internet there for a second. So that's my cue. It's time to shut the show down now. Talking about Bigfoot dating shows. But you know what? That tells me that people have been thinking about it, and they were actually getting producers to call people to get it. There's enough interest in Bigfooting in the cryptid world where they would actually do a show on Bigfoot dating shows. Okay, so
yeah,
it's a good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. So
they're scripted,
but no, I amen to that. I couldn't do it. But no,
there's good people in the Bigfooting communities, though. I'm just saying. Of course, for those TV shows, you know what they were going to do? They were going to probably find the most country folks they could find. That's probably why they contacted me. I don't know, the most country folks to really, really stereotype. Yeah, look at Eric. Eric, you would have been perfect for that show. But you know how they stereotype? They stereotype Bigfoot people that have seen Bigfoots. Yeah. It's being like the most country bumpkin. Is that a word? I don't know. The most country folks you could possibly be. And it would just be to make fun of people. and stuff. You know,
same as aliens. Look what they're doing in the 80s with aliens.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
thanks, Maureen.
I think some of the nicest, coolest people that I've ever met in my entire life are Bigfoot researchers and stuff. People in the Bigfoot communities. Some of the best people that you will ever meet are in the Bigfoot world. Like boots on the ground, just going out and camping and having a good time. And but that's not how they'd be portrayed on those TV shows. I bet a dating show. It would be scripted. Margaret said scripted, and I agree. It would be scripted, probably.
Yeah.
But anyways, okay. Well,
that's
this has been.
I couldn't watch it.
Yeah, I know. I don't even have cable. I'm too busy over here talking about bearmen and stuff on my own channel. Okay, so I'm entertaining myself over here. That's how I roll. So,
are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained, everyone? We are.
Do you have your tea and crumpets?
I know that's. You know what? I actually I know I need to get some Cryptid Huntress merch to sell to everybody. I'm so sorry I haven't done that yet, y'all. I will. I promise. It's on my list of things to do. But
I'm actually
thinking
looking
now maybe I should get a feral shirt.
Yeah. I'm actually looking at getting me a press where I can do hats and cups and shirts and stuff, because I'm like, well, I don't want to, sell these products, my merch at a high price and get only a couple bucks from it when I can make it myself.
Yeah, that's a good idea too, for sure. Yeah. And
I got Joanne a guy to give me the prints.
So you got it all set up. I think you should do that and let me know how it works out. Maybe I'll do the same for me too. I don't know. I ain't got time to be making t-shirts though. I'm too busy. Dang it.
No, that's my problem.
Yeah. Yeah, you're busy too though. You're busy too. Okay. I have not seen. I actually have seen. I think I have seen this, Joanne.
I think so.
About the family. It's kind of people that have been kind of inbred, I think is the word. Okay, and stuff like that. So, yeah. What an interesting conversation tonight. This has been very interesting. Eric, it's been amazing. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you all for having me.
Yes, thank you so much for being here tonight. You have graced us with your presence, and for that I'm forever grateful. Yes.
Do you have any grape upon?
We are talking high class right now.
I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm sorry, man. I got off on one.
Oh, man.
No, thank you for having me. This is some fun stuff, and I've enjoyed this talk. I mean, we always have a good time when we're on the show together, so I appreciate it a lot. Yeah, I really do.
We do. Well, tell everybody about your YouTube channel and all your books. You're an author. Tell everybody about your books and what you got going on right now.
Okay, so I've been off for a week, and then I started doing my shows again last weekend, and I may have to miss Sunday because now I'm going on nights. I got to work nights for a week, starting Sunday night at 8:00. So I'm trying to figure out if I can squeeze the show in early or if I'm just going to have to pre-record something. Saturday, I was supposed to go watch monster trucks. I won tickets to the monster truck jam. So I'm like, okay, I got free parking tickets. It's monster trucks, booga booga, caveman, hillbilly. Let's go watch some trucks crush things.
I love Bigfoot trucks. I love monster trucks. Gravedigger.
Oh, I love
him.
Well, I've been Bigfoot's from my area, and I grew up watching Bigfoot. I remember down on West Bypass in Springfield before it came what it was. It used to be a pick and pull or junkyard on one side and a cow field on the other. Bigfoot used to crunch vehicles down there at that scrap yard there on the other side of West Bypass in Springfield when I was a pup. But so now I've got some stuff coming on. I got a brother. So I had an interesting happen to me while I was off last week. So I was off last week at our national rally, and was hanging out with some good brothers. Well, I found a good brother that also does paranormal investigations up in the Kansas City area, and he actually done a paranormal investigation of the Sally house. Well, me and him was kind of talking, and I had, and me being me. Yeah, I had some of my equipment with me. We'll leave it at that. I may or may not have partaken of bringing some investigative equipment with me, along with MVGs and some other stuff. So I break out this deal. We're doing an EVP session. Well, we led up to, I don't want to give too much away because I'm trying to put the video. Let's say there's something very interesting that happened in that hour-long EVP session we had, and then what led up later on that night. So let's say I was not alone when I was sleeping in my hotel room at night.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it was fun.
What happened?
Because I'll give you a small hint. EVP meter was going nuts all night long. All night long.
Okay.
Like when I set it down the first time, was getting ready to go to bed. It was just green. It was flat line. Means it wasn't picking up hardly any EMF. Couple seconds after me starting to do stuff, something set on that bed and pegged out that EMF meter for over 10 minutes while I was getting stuff done, ready to go to bed. And I could show that one, but that's I would get in trouble for showing that part of the video, so I had to cut that out. But all through the night, you'll watch that EMF meter go flat and then max out, and then go flat, or just kind of something was walking around the bedroom all night long, and I caught a few voices as well.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, I stayed in a haunted hotel one time, probably a bunch of times, but down in Americus. God, I can't remember the name of that hotel. Dang it. It's like the only hotel in Americus, Georgia. I don't remember what it's called. Down there where like Jimmy Carter's from, stuff near Plains.
Yeah.
I can't think of it, but anyways. Yeah, that place was so haunted. I went there to, and I could hear people walking. Like, and every time I could hear people walking down the hall at night, but nobody's walking down the hall. It's like almost like a big house, kind of like a mansion, I guess, right in downtown. I think it's Americus. And there was somebody in my room all night. I felt it. I could see it. I could feel it. It was horrible. I did not like it at all. And I had to work the next day. I was there for work. Okay, I had a meeting. And I didn't sleep very well. So, but anyways, I don't like haunted hotels. Not a fan.
I love them. Me personally, I love them. I thrive in stuff like that. That's kind of, that's what I do. So I had a blast. I don't know if it was me kicking my foot around all night or something messed with me. Quite often I'd be kicking my foot and that EMF detector would go off. Something was messing with me, or I was kicking my foot. I don't know. It was a fun time. I can't tell the name of the hotel I was at because I don't have permission, but I can tell you I was at Indian Point, which is down by Branson, Missouri.
The Windsor Hotel, y'all. That's where I was. The Windsor Hotel.
Oh, yes.
In Americus. That's where I was.
I want to go.
Yeah. You want to go to the Windsor Hotel?
Oh, yeah.
Here, I'll show a picture from my phone. I don't know if y'all can see. I'll just show you a picture. It's kind of blurry. You can't really see it. Anyways, it looks like an old castle. You can look it up online. It looks like an old castle, kind of. It's like old world architecture, maybe like Tartarian, maybe, dare I say. It's not as elaborate as like Tartarian, but it might be. It was maybe inspired by that.
I can tell you one thing. Something very good came from that EVP session is the reason why I love paranormal research. We discovered, which I'm trying to do research on, but what we were told, and I won't give too much of it away, and what happened towards the end is the reason why I love doing the paranormal stuff. And that'll be all on the little over an hour long EVP session we did. So I got to finish stitching it together. I've been busier than hiccup this week. I was hoping to have that video out by tomorrow, but I have been hammered at work all week since being off for a week. And then it doesn't help. Monday, I was climbing in the back of my work truck and I felt 2 pops in my right hamstring, and it almost knocked me to the ground. I spent a couple of days hardly moving around, eating a lot of Edilac to keep me mobile. It sucked. I couldn't sit on my right side. I had a hard time standing, hard time walking. And so I was like, I'm not sitting in my computer chair for 4 hours going through audio, because that's what I got left is my digital 360 to go through, because I was in pain. I was in a lot of pain. But it's doing good now, as long as I don't move just right, and as long as I don't sit on it just right, it's good. I've got it where it's numb now for the most part, but every now and then it reaches up and goes, hey, I'm still here. You know, and being a fluffy guy like me, and you got that going on, that's not a good conversation or combination
Oh my
right
God.
there. It's fluffy and hurt and hamstring don't help.
Oh no. I know. Sometimes the pain just lets you know you're still alive. It sucks. Man.
So I'm hoping to have that video out this week. I am working on my Western Cody Barrett Start of Legend. I got the research done where I've picked back up on that. Currently got 7 books out. My latest one, which has been so far one of my best reactive books so far, people's probably their favorite so far, is Beast of the Ozarks First Kill. And in this book, I'm not only writing in the mindset of the main character, but I write in the mindset of the beast as well. So I took a different twist on this book, a different way of writing, which was very difficult. When you're trying to write in the mindset of a creature, it's like, well, how does this thing actually think? So, I mean, I literally had to come up with what it calls things, how it sees things, and its mentality. And on top of that, what's going on, because this is not just a typical cryptid horror, modern day cryptid horror that takes place in Pineville, Missouri. This is actually a cryptid horror with a twist book. So that is available. I did see where I had an issue with it on Amazon. It's been fixed, so it can now be bought on Amazon. For some reason, it wasn't showing up on there. Come to find out, is it said the language something about adult stuff in the cover or something like that, and I'd accidentally clicked yes, so it wasn't showing up on Amazon. It is now available on Amazon and audio.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty much right.
Well, shoot, yeah. Well, amazing. And so you've also got your podcast and over on YouTube. Everybody, please go over and subscribe to The Bizarre and the Unknown on YouTube and Rumble. Actually, Eric's been putting some videos over there, and you go live where you can speak a little more freely. Then you can.
I gotta do some more Rumble. I haven't done none. I've been so busy. It's hard to do off multiple platforms, but I just realized it's pretty dark in here. But it's just a little late to turn on my lights that fry my brain. So, but I do that stuff. I will be going live on Rumble again here soon. I will be doing a members only YouTube live here again soon. I've got a couple more shows that I'm fixing to get out. I've just been way too busy to get them out yet. So one of the new shows will be once a month is called Book Club. And that's where we read my books and we talk about them live. So we'll talk about the books, why the character was doing this, why it was done that. We're going to go over my books live. And then the next one's going to be it's called, I just brain farted, Writer's Workshop. And that's where I want to get other authors together, come on live, and we talk about how we're writing. How is it that our writing methods are, and like for me, like the Dolphs, The Land Beyond, which is the first book in the Mountain Man series that I started, is an homage to Louis L'Amour. Louis L'Amour was one of my favorite authors, one of the very first authors I was able to get into. So the Dolphs is me paying homage to him because in fact, that's what I've been listening to his books all week from Sackett Land on. I'm up to Jubal now. I love the Sackett series. It's one of my favorite series. So when I wanted to pay some homage to him, and that's where it's got a different twist to it than the Sacketts, but I wanted some of that characteristics in there because I wanted to pay respects to an author that I absolutely loved growing up. I can't read. I'm dyslexic. Reading and writing is extremely hard for me. But his books is one of the very few books that I can actually pick up and read. I'm a big Louis L'Amour fan.
I had one of his books when I was a kid. I think my dad gave it to me when I was a kid. I was a reader, an avid reader. Okay, when I was growing up, and I went to school. I have a degree actually in English literature. Okay, so I used to be a reader. I don't read as much now as I used to, but Louis L'Amour, that was it was like the Wild West, like cowboy style, right?
Yeah. He's well known for the Sacketts. The Sacketts is a great series of books. I mean, if you want to get into some good mountain man and Western books. I mean, who all in here knows of the movie, John Wayne movie, Hondo? Which is one of the John Wayne. Yeah, that is actually a Sackett series book written by Louis Lamar.
Wait, I think I know somebody named Hondo, actually.
Yeah, Hondo. That is actually a book, and that's a Sackett series book too.
So that's where that name originates from. I knew it sounded familiar.
Yep.
Yes. My buddy, I hadn't talked to him in a while, but he had a Dogman encounter. And it was on Vic Cundiff show, Dogman Encounters, Hondo. That's not his real name, by the way, but that's just that's his nickname. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So no, it's great. I love that stuff. You know, it's hard for me to read. It's hard for me to write because I really struggle with it. But I got programs that helps me to write, and then I've got my INR readers on Patreon. They go through and read my books. They get first look at my books before it's ever printed. They give me feedback on them. So if you're interested in being one of those, that's a tier on my Patreon. It's fun. I love it, and it's really helped with my writing. But Beast of the Ozarks is my latest one. But I'm working on Cody Barrett's Started Legend, which is my Western, and I'll give you a little bit of hint. Cody just got through talking to Frank and Jesse James. So Frank and Jesse James is very big with my family. We had a very tight connection with them. We used to hide them out all the time down in Pineville, Missouri. So I had to put Frank and Jesse in there because it's tied to my family.
Wait, your family actually did that? Like your family?
Yeah, what? Frank and Jesse used to hide out in Testerman's Cave. They used Testerman's Branch. They would come on my family property, and my family would leave the hay hollowed out in the center. So Frank and them would ride in, and Jesse would ride in, and we'd stack hay bales up and hide them from the posse. That's what family did. That stuff all the time.
I'll be. No way. Yeah. So a bunch of rebels. What in the world? That is so cool.
Yeah, so I had to put Frank and Jesse in there because, like, the very first Jesse James movie ever put out was done in Pineville, Missouri, and my family was in it.
Oh, wow. That is wild. That's really wild.
Yeah. Man. So my family are co-founders of McDonald County. Back before then, it was known as Snake County. Now, we're the second family to live there. The first family to get married in there. And when the Trail of Tears came through Pineville, Missouri, some of my family married some of the Cherokee off the Trail of Tears. That's how I got the Cherokee blood in me. So, I mean, my family's got a lot of history down in there.
Oh, yeah. That's fascinating. Super fascinating. Well, your book sounds like it's amazing. And, man, that's really, I think that's really cool that you allow people to actually read the books, too, like before you get them out there and you get some input from your audience and stuff. And I love that. That's so super cool and a great way to do things. It keeps everybody, in the
if you guys are interested, go to my Patreon, The Bizarre and the Unknown, and look it up. I have an ACR tier and an INR tier. ACR, you'll get to look at all my books after they've been put out. All my videos and audios caught from investigations will be on there. But the INR gets all that, plus they get a look at my books before they're published.
That's awesome. Super awesome. And where can people find your books? On Amazon?
Amazon, on Amazon for the hard copy and the Kindle. 3 different platforms on audio. It's oh my gosh. Books is one of them. Oh man. Okay, hold on, give me a second. I have completely gaffed that off. Audible, books, and then I think iBooks is the other one.
Well, we'll be sure to put it in the description box. I've got your Amazon links and stuff, and our mods have been putting the links in the chat all night. Thank you so much to all the mods, y'all. Thank you so much for being here and for doing that for us. I do appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
So
you got some awesome mods.
Thank you. Yes, you're one of them too.
I forget that sometimes.
I think I get too, didn't I?
I've got a wrench too. I forget that sometimes, man. I'm just like, hey, I'm in the chat. Hi. And I forget that
Yeah. Man, I love that. Yeah, well, that is really great, you guys. Please go over to go check out Eric's books, y'all, on audio or on Amazon for sure, and go subscribe over at the Bizarre and the Unknown, and also on William Nighthawk's channel as well. Eric is a co-host with William Nighthawk on the Nighthawk High Strangeness channel on the weekends as well. So y'all please go subscribe over there if you hadn't already. And I know the mod's been putting links to that in the chat as well. I saw Cryptid put it in there, and Maureen, I think. So thank y'all so much for that. And yeah, well, Eric, please come back and hang out with me again soon. This was a lot of fun. Anytime.
I like it.
Okay. Awesome. I know we talk about a lot of weird stuff, y'all, but tonight we did not disappoint in that department. Okay. We did not disappoint. And so thank you guys again, everybody, for being here tonight. And like I said, if you want to get access to all my remote viewing data and stuff, and all the even the pictures that I didn't get pulled up tonight on my StreamYard, they're over on my Patreon. So you guys go become a member over there. And I do appreciate all of my members, all the support. And I will see y'all again on Saturday night. We're going on the hunt at 10 o'clock Eastern. And I promise you guys, it's going to be a great show. And y'all, please stay safe out there this weekend and this week. Keep your head on a swivel. Don't live in fear. Sovereign says to fart hard. Thanks.
Like
man, y'all have fun. I know.
Everyone.
Yes. I hope everybody learned a little something. I learned a lot tonight, actually. And yes, our topics were the Beast of Bear Creek, which was a S-Walker, Skinwalker. I know I don't say it very often. I do believe that's what that was, what it is. And the Bear King was probably a Bigfoot, y'all, out of Middle Texas. Okay, Middle Texas. And mysteries solved, kind of, on those two. So
stamp it.
Yeah, we got it. Check it off the list. Okay. But y'all have a wonderful night and a wonderful day. Please stay safe, and I will see you guys back here on Saturday. All right, Eric, we'll see you over on your channal soon. And
all right, bye.
All right, everybody have a great night. Bye, y'all.